Good morning. Hope everybody's feeling all right, staying safe and warm. I don't know how many of you have power, but it sounds like Nashville, Middle Tennessee, took an absolute beating over the weekend. 615-737-1045, the number. We got a Super Bowl matchup set. Obviously, we're going to talk about it. Lucas, Robert, me, we're all here with you. Ben Jones is at the beach. Must be nice. Brett Kern is staying in a hotel because he also lost power, so we're hoping that anybody who's experiencing any of those difficulties has the necessary support or people around them to help them out. I spent the morning defrosting my car from, I'm telling you, that had to be 2 inches of ice sitting on the ground. At least. What's it look like in East Nashville? It sounded like East Nashville took a beating too. I was out kind of not quite to Bellevue, but West Nashville looking for salt for my neighbor this morning. Nobody had it. The hardware stores that did have power, of course, were out of the snow, ice, melting salt. But East Nashville, I feel like they immediately lost power.
A lot of trees, especially up and down Riverside Drive and in Inglewood and that whole area. And it was like standing on my back deck yesterday morning and just sort of looking out at the treetops in the distance. It was like if there was a giant just walking amongst the trees because you're just seeing trees falling one by one by one. It was insane, man. I mean, falling in very close proximity. We had one go through a power line by our house, power gone. But I will say the roads, all of the main roads and highways, the city of Nashville has done a phenomenal job at keeping those clean. NES workers working around the clock. And, it's a big mess. Hope everybody's staying safe and staying warm. But shout out to the city of Nashville for being prepared, it would seem.
Yes, and Robert has done the good thing of sending me this article from WPLN, our local NPR station, who has an article on their website right now, WPLN.org, about warming centers. If you are experiencing power outages, you can go check out their website for more information. All Nashville Fire Department stations are warming stations, Metro Nashville Police Precinct community rooms, except the Central Precinct and the East Precinct. The Southeast Regional Community Center is 5260 Hickory Hollow Parkway in Antioch, the Madison Community Center, 550 North DuPont Avenue, and the Nashville Fairgrounds, 401 Wingrove Street, just south of where we are here on Demumbrian.
I will pin the link to that article in our YouTube chat so we don't have to continue to say those. But if you are looking for that information, check out our YouTube chat. I'll have it pinned in there if you do need the location of the warming centers.
And as always, wipe the snow off your car when you drive.
Oh, yeah. Don't be the person. I mean, and because it's not just snow, it's ice, like chunks of ice flying off people's cars. That's one of the most... What's the opposite of courteous?
It's
not discourteous, is it? That doesn't sound right.
Uncourteous.
Sure.
Incourteous.
It's a bad thing to do. Be a good person. Get the ice off your car before you go driving around Nashville. So, we have a Super Bowl. It's the Patriots and the Seahawks. Seahawks and the Rams playing a much different game than New England and Denver did in the AFC Championship game. But ultimately, you see Drake May with less than 90 yards passing, and that Patriots defense that's done a lot of good work throughout the course of this postseason advance to the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel out-coaching Sean Payton with one of those classic Vrabel in-game moments, a few of them. Sean Payton making uncharacteristic errors, in particular that fourth down situation, which just ended in a turnover for Jarrett Stidham, who tried his damnedest, but between the circumstance that he was placed in already and the weather, how quickly that turned at Mile High Stadium yesterday, there was points were at a premium, and Sean Payton passed up the opportunity to go up 10-0. Sam Darnold, we were talking about this because Fitzy and I were live on Fox yesterday after the games. Lucas, what does Sam Darnold have to do to get the stigma of not a big game quarterback off of him? Because he's now in a Super Bowl. Does he have to win a Super Bowl for that to evaporate? Or if he loses as a heavy favorite to a Patriots team that will undoubtedly be the lesser team, is he going to have to deal with that until he does something remarkable? Because what he's already done is remarkable. He was remarkable yesterday.
It was his best game of the season. He saved a masterclass for the NFC Championship. Unfortunately, I think Sam Darnold, if he loses and his performance is a direct reason why the Seahawks lose to the Patriots, that tag will not be shed, despite what he did yesterday against a good Rams defense and what was an awesome game. All 3 times these two teams have met this year, it's been highly entertaining. And remember the first time, Sam Darnold had a meltdown of all meltdowns, 4 picks in that game. I mean, damn near half the interceptions he had on the season happened in that game. Then the second time they met, he started off very poorly with 2 first-half interceptions, got right. They won in overtime in a thriller, and he was, close to perfect yesterday against the Rams. But I do feel like if he loses and he's turning the ball over against New England, then that just comes right back around.
Robert, where did you two watch football? Because neither of you had power.
I am being housed by some good Samaritans and great friends.
Okay.
Cheyenne has been at the hotel since Friday because she has to come into work. So she has been staying there. When my power went out yesterday, I just went to the hotel and hung out in her hotel room and watched football all day.
Do you feel that's at all karma for you celebrating the fact that she was going to be in a hotel all weekend? You would have the house to yourself to play video games and watch terrible YouTube videos and all those different things.
No way, dude. Free room service? It's not my name on the room. I can't wait till Cheyenne checks out and sees that bill. How the hell did you eat 50 packs of peanuts? How is that? I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed.
So many grapes. Just shoveling grapes, drinking champagne.
Walking into the storage room like, hey, Marlene, yeah, it's me again, just grabbing a drink. Sorry.
Of course, Marlene works in the storage room.
You're in your underwear.
I'm serious. Cheyenne came after, working her job, and I'm in there in my underwear sprawled out on the king bed playing Mario Kart, watching football.
God, I can't think of a worse scene to walk into after a long day at work in the elements.
Oh, hey, baby. Hey, baby.
So, both of these 2 games, maybe it's too extreme to say that they were decided on pivotal 4th down calls, but it did feel like that was the nail in the coffin for both teams. With Sean Payton, they called as we talked about, in the red zone, opportunity to take the points, go up 10-0, and 10 points seemingly would have won you the game yesterday, given how bad the weather was for both sides and the fact that the Patriots were playing into the wind in the 4th quarter. Sean Payton goes for it on 4th down, doesn't get it. Stidham throws an interception on top of not getting the 4th down conversion. Los Angeles does a similar thing. Rams ball, 4th and 4 from the Seattle 6. They're down 4 points. It's 31-27, 4:59 to play. McVay opts to go for it. Kyron Williams ran toward the left side of the end zone. He had 2 defenders on him immediately. Do either of you have a problem with either of those calls? You can like one and not like the other, because we were talking about this yesterday, recapping the games, as I mentioned, and I in my head, I immediately pivoted to, well, there's just an over-aggressiveness problem in football on 4th downs, because 4th and 4 is ridiculous in an NFC Championship game. McVay, what are you doing? Do you two feel that is an overcorrection? Do you think if they would have gotten it, we're having a much different conversation? It feels like a risky gamble on both sides either way.
So you think Sean McVay should have kicked a field goal to go down 1 at that point?
I think in an NFC Championship game and an AFC Championship game, points are at a premium.
It was 4th and 4 at the 6 with just under 5 minutes to play. So you would have had time to get the ball back, potentially push for a game-winning field goal. At that point, I did not have a huge issue with what I did think the Rams should have done is on their previous touchdown, go for 2 to make it a 3-point game. And then you would have been in a position to tie that game instead of needing a touchdown to take the lead with 5 minutes left. When they scored, I think it was late in the 3rd quarter, to get to 27 points, that deep ball to Puka Nacua where they capitalized on the Tariq Woolen taunting penalty, which was awful, by the way. Seahawks probably should have had this game won.
I mean, what a terrible sequence from him from top to bottom.
Just gets toasted right after that penalty. At that point, even though it's still the 3rd quarter, I felt like the Rams should have gone for 2, make it a 3-point game. And then if you fast forward to the end of the 4th, you're talking about maybe a game-tying field goal. Hindsight 2020, I didn't have a huge problem with the 4th and 4. But the Sean Payton situation, I was flabbergasted at a game like that, surely Sean Payton knew what kind of weather was about to sweep in, right?
Apparently, Fitzy mentioned this last night. I didn't have any awareness of it, but Fitzy said that the weather people in Denver had accurately predicted that the weather would turn that way. Now I know that weather people get a bad rap in these situations, but if it's better to be prepared for certain circumstances like adverse weather. You'd rather be safe than sorry. And in the case of Sean Payton, he was sorry and not safe.
I just feel like in that situation, when you know the weather that's about to come in, you know the coach that's on the other side, right? You don't need 21 points to beat Mike Vrabel in that kind of game. He's going to try to finagle his way around to a win, which is exactly what they did.
In the playoffs, you need 16 to beat the Patriots. Nobody can do it.
Yeah, man, that field goal would have been so huge. And you put it in the arms or in the hands of Jarrett Stidham, too, in that situation. I didn't like that.
On the Rams 4th and 4, what I was more impressed with, did you guys watch? How many times have you watched that play?
Just several times.
The defense that Mike McDonald calls, the look is like a cover zero all-out blitz. 6 dudes on the line, looks like they're all coming. He ends up dropping 3 of those guys, so a 3-man rush drops defensive linemen into coverage, and they get the breakup. It was just a masterful game from Mike McDonald. I know they scored a bunch of points, but still, to be able to hold Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, and when the lights are the brightest, he called a magnificent game.
Well, that was the criticism, right? Because that third quarter, Rams looked like they were getting ready to rally back, and Matt Stafford, who had been held down, I think, pretty effectively in the first half of that game, between him and Davante Adams, it's just fun to watch those two chase when they're trailing in a game, because it was, that's your playoff lives on the line. The other part of this is because I like the context of the difference between these 4th down calls are not the same, right? Sean Payton should have done it. After the fact, Lucas, had less of an issue with McVay because the Rams weren't getting defensive stops. Their secondary, that's been a talking point all year long. I know they made a big play against Chicago last week, but they were getting killed by Sam Darnold and JSN. JSN was awesome.
I mean,
awesome in this
an
game.
Incredible display of the 2 best receivers in the NFL this year in JSN and Puka Nacua.
So if you're McVay and you have 4th and 4, you have 2 better arguments than playing for the points because it wouldn't give you a lead, right? One, you have Matt Stafford and Davante Adams in the red zone. Nobody's going to fault you for leaving that tandem on the field in 4th and 4. That's your best player. Put the ball in the hands of your best player. That's the argument you hear every time when you see teams go about this with a lack of aggressiveness. The other part of this is if you're McVay, you don't trust your defense to get a stop. Because theoretically, you're right. Down 1, you could get a stop, but the Rams defense wouldn't get a stop yesterday.
I mean, the Rams defense did have a chance to give their team the football back, and the Seahawks ripped off an 11-play, 49-yard drive and took up 4.5 minutes of clock, and Matt Stafford got it deep in his own territory with 25 ticks left on the clock. So, yeah, I think if they had kicked that field goal, I doubt they would have. I suppose, you'd just be talking about getting into field goal range there as opposed to needing a touchdown, but they were not able to do that. And the Seahawks win a thriller.
I think that's what I have a bigger issue with. McVay calling that timeout ahead of the backwards fumble. Was this a fumble or not? Because then you have to call the timeout to stop the clock again. So you have no timeouts in 25 seconds? I would have a bigger issue with that play call than him going for it on 4th and 4.
Also, how insane is it that Sam Darnold will be the first USC quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl?
How many really good ones have there been?
They've had 26 selected in the NFL draft.
Well, that's actually crazy.
I'm very surprised by that.
But Matt Barkley hadn't played in the Super Bowl. Leinart.
Sanchez got close to
Sanchez got to an
AFC
championship. Yeah. That is, okay. Well, good on Sam Darnold.
And who was the Bengals quarterback?
Oh, Palmer?
Palmer was good.
Yeah. Palmer is the best USC quarterback, right? I mean, late stage Sam Darnold is going to give him a run for his money, but to date, resume, Carson Palmer is the best USC quarterback.
Career-wise, I would say so. Matt Leinart did have the best single season by a USC quarterback in the NFL, but yes, career-wise, it would be Palmer.
And then there's the Mike Vrabel of it all. I think that it's okay, if you're a Titans fan, to have some level of emotion about it. You can hold the context of what went wrong here at the end with Mike Vrabel against him if you want to, But there's no question that he took a 4-win team and turned it into a Super Bowl contender basically overnight. And he did it with half of your staff and half of your roster and the personnel guy that he wanted to be your GM.
And a pretty well-laid path. But got to take advantage of it. Got to beat who's in front of you.
Man, they're 9-0 on the road in the NFL.
It's an insane number. It's an insane number. But not only did they get to play Jarrett Stidham in an AFC championship, they got to play Jarrett Stidham in a blizzard for a chance at a Super Bowl.
And May wasn't good, right? But that's the thing. They're doing it without May being the better quarterback.
That's the third time in his career Mike Vrabel has won a playoff game with this QB throwing for less than 88 yards.
I think that's a skill. I really do. And he had the late substitution thing to put Stidham in a panic mode and have him throw the interception. Like, he did the Mike Vrabel thing. And there is no ignoring the idea that Drake May has not looked as good in the playoffs against real defenses, right? Like, this is where you're seeing the fall off. It's not necessarily with the Patriots team as a whole, but it's with Drake May. He played the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL this year, and it showed, right? He's an MVP candidate, not as a result, but in huge part due to the degree of difficulty or lack thereof that he was up against in the regular season. Now he's played the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos, and they've survived all three. They've done it ugly, right? What's the line that they had here? What was it, Quessenberry? It's not pretty, but it's beautiful, or whatever. They're doing the thing. So I get what you're saying about the context that you can put around the situation, but there's no question that he did that basically overnight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think most of us expected the Patriots to be in the 5-win range in 2025.
I wouldn't have picked them to win more than 7 games.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 615-737-1045 is the number. Now, what are the losers? The Rams and the Broncos. Let's talk about Super Bowl windows. You're trying to ramp up to one if you're Tennessee. But let's talk about some teams that looked like they might have a lot longer runway on this thing. And it feels a lot less so today. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Performance issues are the worst if you've experienced them, and the Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to get you back right. They've been helping guys for over a decade here in Middle Tennessee because your life is too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you're noticing issues with ED or performance, then your relationship, your confidence, and maybe even your career has already been affected. Online folks promise convenience and discretion, but their treatments are generic and some even unsafe. Guys, no more excuses. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is the state's first men's health-focused urology practice. Multiple urologists and providers focus solely on male performance. No unproven snake oil or peptides without solid research. Since 2014, they've pioneered men's health in Tennessee and have been testing and growing to make sure you get the best care and the safest, most effective treatment. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 right now, or book online in under 30 seconds at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
So Super Bowl 60 is set in stone, and we're going to have time, 2 weeks, to talk about the matchup, Seahawks and Patriots, to talk about Mike Vrabel, the breakup post-Titans, where Titans fans fall on it.
But we're doing that today, too.
Oh, we're doing that today, too. We're going to have time. But for right now, as we welcome you back, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, how nice does that sound right now?
Oh, are they open?
To be cozied up on the couch
Should
with
we order Hattie B's?
Big old bucket of fried chicken. We can look into that. Where do the Rams and Broncos go from here? What does that window look like? And where do you want to start here? Do you want to start with the Rams with 37-year-old Matt Stafford coming off an MVP caliber season? We'll see if he wins it. Or with the Broncos, who very much have a long path forward at the quarterback position with Bo Nix in regards to their Super Bowl windows?
Let's start with the Rams.
So, first of all, what constitutes a Super Bowl window to you? Like, what are the things you have to be able to firmly say we are in a window right now for our organization?
A quarterback. All right. So I go back and forth on the idea of defining quarterbacks as franchise guys, right? Was Ryan Tannehill a franchise quarterback?
I have a hard time saying he wasn't.
I would say Ryan Tannehill was a franchise quarterback. I bet many people within the sound of my voice would push back on that, yeah?
I think there's this thought that you have to draft and develop a quarterback yourself for him to be your franchise quarterback.
That's old-fashioned and not, frankly, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, is Goff a franchise quarterback in Detroit?
Absolutely. I think that there's this misconception. You can get it right around a guy that you organically draft. I'm not saying that that's completely outdated or gone out of style. I'm saying it's a hell of a lot harder to do than to find a Ryan Tannehill, a Sam Darnold, a Jimmy Garoppolo, or something like that, and put yourself in a Super Bowl window. So let's start there first and foremost. Sam Darnold is playing like a franchise quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that you basically have 3 years within the time that you get the definitive answer at quarterback for that year's team, right? Tannehill wasn't the definitive answer when he came in here, but he very quickly proved to be, and they had 3 of the best years that the franchise has ever had. I think that that's the right amount of time for you to figure out your pieces and parts, your offensive line help, your wide receivers, while still doing it in a window where you're dealing, as long as you've drafted replacement level well, where you've got enough cost-effective players on the roster before your defense gets too expensive and all of a sudden you have to start paying Chris Jones and Honey Badger and who's the linebacker from Missouri that the Chiefs have? Bolton, right? All these different pieces and parts that were great finds when they were day 3 guys in the case of some of them. Now all of a sudden they're on contending teams regularly and they expect to make their money. 3 years feels like a window for any team once you found the quarterback. But not until you found the quarterback does that window start.
So how long does that window last for L.A. with Matt Stafford, who is 37 years old, who was excellent yesterday? Both quarterbacks were excellent in the NFC Championship. And Sean McVay kind of bristled post-game at the idea posed to him, the question about whether or not Stafford would play next year.
To be back next season.
Yeah, if he still wants to play, what the hell kind of question is that? The answer, yeah. You have to ask him. We've been totally present. I know that if he wants to, he's still playing at a pretty damn good clip. I mean, he's the MVP of the league, and if he's not, I got respect for everybody else, but this guy played at a level that's just different. I appreciate you guys this year. Thank you.
What the hell kind of question is that about Matt Stafford playing next year?
Well, so there's 2 ways that you can receive that, right? You can take it aggressively, which is, the hell's wrong with you? Why are you asking me that question? Our season ended 10 minutes ago, and you're asking me about the quarterback's future when he's probably not had time to process it. Get out of here. Which
was basically what Stafford said. Like, look, we just lost. Like, I'm not thinking about the next 6 months of my life right now.
Listen, you have to ask that question if you're the media, and they can answer it however they want to, even if it's not a pleasant response, right? I think the question has to be asked, though. Would you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree.
He's 37.
I would also be pretty surprised if he's not playing next year, right?
Sure.
If he's healthy. Like, he's been at, like, the peak of his powers this season. He's been
healthy?
phenomenal.
What did they do to his back? Like, is the back just fixed? Like, maybe it is. I haven't looked at Rams injury reports or things like that this year once we got into the season. But if he's battling through something at all, like, you remember Jeff's ankle at the end of 2022? He's crying in the locker room because he's been shooting himself up with God knows what for 7 weeks since that Kansas City game, and they lost 7 straight, which makes it even worse, but he's broken at the end of it. And frankly, I don't think he was right for another season. Talking about Jeff Simmons. That's a tough thing. So if Stafford, we have no idea how Stafford physically feels right now and how he'll feel 3 months from now when he's had time to rest a little bit. But I think the way that I took McVay's response was, what the hell kind of question is that? Of course we would want him back if he wants to play.
And he is under contract for 1 more year with the reworked deal they made this past offseason.
Yeah. So it's a fair question to ask. Now, the Super Bowl window for them opened, closed, and then opened again, right? Because they had a year where they were a 5-win football team, and they were dealing with all manner of injuries, and they very quickly got it back up to speed and started competing in the NFC again.
Their window is firmly open for me if Matt Stafford's playing next year.
I feel less good about that.
They did not.
He's already beaten the odds.
Sure, but what would happen if Stafford, who, by the way, turns 38 the day before the Super Bowl, he'll find out whether or not he's the NFL MVP 2 days before that, and so he'll be 38 next season. If Stafford decides to promptly hang it up this offseason, then we will see something that we just don't really see, and that's a guy riding off into the sunset near the peak of his career in terms of performance, right?
Yeah.
If he retires off the heels of his first career MVP, that's a rarity in the NFL. I would be really surprised if Stafford doesn't run it back for another couple years. And if he's playing, they have things to clean up, but it is a young defense that is homegrown with a lot of guys still on rookie deals.
It's cost effective.
Special teams certainly contributed to them losing that game yesterday with the muff punt that led to a score, but with Puka Nacua on that roster, I'd be hard-pressed to sit here and say the Rams are not in a Super Bowl window as long as Stafford's playing at this level.
Oh, yeah, at this level, he's an MVP. Yeah. My question is, he's beat the odds on that. How much longer is that going to look like? Because the thing that allowed him to play that way and started to fade towards the end of the season is once his offensive line started getting banged up, he started getting hit a hell of a lot more. And still, he's capable of superhuman things. But I just think in a year where you have 2 first-round draft picks, right now where they have, I think it's 13 from Atlanta and 29, which is their own, it would be interesting to see how they hedge their bets, right? Because right now it's Garoppolo and Stetson Bennett behind him. Neither of those are viable solutions. Maybe Jimmy G was at one point in time. That's obviously a different case in what's going to be 2027, 2026, I guess.
So the Rams go home. The Seahawks move on. By the way, Sam Darnold, you talk about redemption. His seeing ghosts comment, you remember who that was against?
Was it the Rams?
It was a divisional game against the Patriots.
Oh, I don't.
That the Jets were playing when that infamous comment happened on the sideline. And he was asked about it last night. I saw Clayton Holloway tweet about this from NFL Network. And the quote was, "I almost forgot about it, so thanks," to whoever brought it up to him post-game.
This is the thing. Like, most of these dudes delete their social media during the season. They don't know what's going on out here in the world.
But he's going to hear about it, though.
He's going to get the question a million times.
They're about to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Sure.
The Broncos.
That's my favorite Super Bowl of my lifetime.
Malcolm Butler interception?
It's as jaw-dropping throughout that Super Bowl was as any Super Bowl that I can remember.
Oh, mine is Steelers-Cardinals. Unbelievable game.
It's
Larry
a really
Fitzgerald, Santonio, going back and forth. The James Harrison pick six, like that
needing
game.
oxygen on the sidelines afterwards.
That's top of the list for me if we're power ranking Super Bowls.
Oh, man, I don't know. Just the decision of Pete Carroll, Belichick letting him basically bleed out on the sidelines there because Belichick is supposed to take a timeout but won't. Like, there's just, I don't know. There's high drama in both of them, but that one was my favorite.
We'll never know what would have happened yesterday if it was Bo Nix playing quarterback and not Jarrett Stidham. It would have been the same type of game, right? Like a grimy, snowy.
I don't know how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah. It's crazy the way that intensified the weather. Like the whole first half. It's cold, but perfectly clear. You can see everything.
It was
and then
beautiful. Sunny.
End of the third quarter. It's just you can't see the yard lines. It was crazy. So
yeah, I know. I mean, Tony Romo wouldn't stop reminding us about it.
Do we consider the Broncos to be firmly in a Super Bowl window moving forward here with Bo Nix coming back off the ankle? And Vance Joseph potentially leaving as defensive coordinator? I think this was
their best shot. I feel way worse about them than I do the Rams.
This was their best shot?
I think so.
Bo Nix is in the middle of his rookie deal, and this is it? This is it for the Broncos?
I'm
That's
not
crazy.
saying it's it, but I feel like I can still say it's their best shot without it being like, I bet they're still, hanging around. I bet they're still competing in the postseason. I don't think they're ever going to get this close again. You're going to have brain drain. How long is Sean Payton going to do this?
I don't know. And I can hear you
This
if
is
you're
more about Sean Payton to me than it is Bo Nix.
if your reasoning is, because you could say the same about almost any team in a postseason that doesn't include Lamar and Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Like, that is a rarity. You're not going to get that very often. So if that's part of your reasoning, I understand.
Absolutely. There are so many different reasons. Their defense is elite. Vance Joseph is elite as a coordinator. He's probably going to have some other job at this point in time. And, I mean, nobody wants the Browns job. He can have it if he wants it based on the amount of people who have pulled out of that job. I just think all of the fates aligned for the Broncos this year, and a very unfortunate injury happened to them at the worst possible time.
I just have a hard time with Bo Nix going into year 3 and Sean Payton showing no signs of slowing down, especially if they run it back with Vance Joseph next year in that defense to say, this is it. This is their best shot.
They rank 12th in the NFL in salary cap with $35 million going into the offseason.
So they've got wiggle room, but not a ton. And they can start doing extensions on some of these guys to bring down cap hits. But at a certain point, man, you very rarely actually win with the rookie quarterback deal. We've talked about this a million times through, but you can get there. And you can give yourself a chance to be in that game. It just felt like that was the year for them to do this, where they've been talking about Super Bowl aspirations and expectations the whole way through. And again, a freak injury may have cost you, I think, your best opportunity.
615-737-1045. The Patriots have taken advantage of every opportunity. Joe in Spring Hill is next.
Hey, gentlemen, good morning. I got to give you credit. You really stole a little bit of my thunder there. After the AFC Championship game was a final, before the NFC game kicked off, friends, family, we all wanted Seattle to win. We did not like the idea at all of facing Matthew Stafford, in the Super Bowl. And you really got me good because, the old Darnold clip, I'm seeing ghosts out there. And I got to be honest, that's how we feel. As good as he looked yesterday and as amazing as he looked, we liked our chances better playing against Sam Darnold. If you look at our defense, what's happened over the last 3 weeks, I mean, everyone talks about the greatness of the Houston defense, and the Chargers got a top 5 defense, and Patriots have never won in Denver, and they didn't play anybody. And, it's like I told the screener, it's not like when the dust settles, it's not like they're going to put an asterisk next to the 2025 Patriots that says, they had the weakest schedule of any Super Bowl winning team ever. So that's not going to happen. The main thing I loved yesterday, and Vrabel showed it, and it reminded us of old school Patriots, whereas more games in the NFL are lost than won. And boy, did they prove that yesterday. I mean, just think about it. After coming off like a 3-turnover game, look what happened yesterday. 1 penalty for 5 yards, no turnovers, and they forced a couple of turnovers. And, it's like I said, they've been bad-mouthing us all through the offseason that Houston's going to beat us because of their defense, and we have to go to Denver. And now.
All right, thank you, Joe. That's 60 seconds on the clock. I know you can't hear the Oscars music.
I just got so upset.
Why?
The reference to that's old school Patriots right there.
Oh, they're back.
But that's what's going to happen here is Drake May could very well be on this Hall of Fame trajectory. Like, that could be overstating it, but the trajectory it's very plausible that that's what that is. And
he just did something Tom Brady never did.
Right. And now Mike Vrabel has something that he did not have here, right? Just that long-term quarterback solution that's still on his rookie deal. The offensive coordinator that's never going to leave, all of these things.
Well, I don't say that so definitively. You don't think Josh McDaniels get a sniff? If they win the Super Bowl, you don't think Josh McDaniels gets a sniff next cycle?
Yeah, if somebody
coach of the Browns.
if somebody wants to go 3-23 over for a couple seasons, sure.
I'm just saying, he's not that old. I think he could get back into this.
It would be insane for Josh McDaniels. The list of people that have led 3 franchises as a head coach in the NFL is short, right? Like Mike McCarthy just joined that list. If Josh McDaniels joins that list with the proof of concept he's put out at each of his last 2 stops.
Okay. Do you think NFL owners are, on aggregate, smart?
Probably not. No, not from what the Bills owner just showed us.
Brother, I think there are way more of him than there are. Dominique Foxworth has a great line about being a part of the NFLPA and negotiating with Jerry Jones, sitting across from Jerry Jones at a negotiating table and being like, oh, this man has more money than me, but he's not smarter than me. And I think Jerry's one of the more coherent ones.
Well, I say all that to say it's infuriating that Patriots fans are going to get to look at like 2 seasons as the dark days of Patriots football.
Oh, my God.
Right? This era where
Giardi was already doing it yesterday.
They were wandering through the desert. Oh, it was so hard for 2 years.
We should have Giardi on the show.
3 years, whatever. Oh.
I do have a problem with what the caller said about, no, they're not going to put an asterisk next to it. Yeah, maybe not historians, but like ask anybody about the LeBron bubble championship.
Oh, that's not the same.
No, it is.
People will point to this and say if they do win, they had the easiest pathway. Anytime we talk about this,
the only people that will do that are bitter-ass Titans fans.
No, that's not true. I'm not a
true
bitter-ass Titans fan, and I would do that if they won. And when you talk about them winning this Super Bowl, I think that would be the point of conversation.
The path was laid.
Okay, but not in the playoffs.
No,
they are beating these defenses.
They're playing good defenses. They're not playing good. They haven't had.
Oh, God forbid somebody have to play a good defense in the playoffs.
They have not faced a single.
No, I'm not saying God forbid. I'm just saying it's not the regular season anymore. Like the degree of difficulty is substantially greater.
I'm just telling you how everyone else is going to talk about this. No one is going to be like, "Oh, what a great job! Oh, they really busted their ass this year and did it." No one's going to talk about it like
They're
that. It's not just going to be Titans fans.
They play Justin Herbert, who can't win in the playoffs. C.J. Stroud, who just had a meltdown for the back half of the year, and
I don't think the majority of people are going to do that.
They will.
I think so.
I promise you they will.
People hate the Patriots, man.
They don't hate this Patriots team.
People hate the Patriots.
Yes, I hate the Patriots. Yes.
Well, you're different. You're a Ravens fan.
Sure, but like how many teams can say that?
The text I sent you from our buddy Josh Griffin over at Lola's, who I can't read the text on the air, but basically saying that mother effer Harbaugh should have been fired because look at Drake May in a Super Bowl before Lamar.
You don't think Bills fans would do this? Jets fans would do this? Dolphins fans would do this? Texans fans would do this?
Josh Allen was more than welcome to beat the same Broncos team.
Sure, but
you think people just forgot that they hate the Patriots?
And not the same Broncos team. He had to play Bo Nix.
That's true.
But the defense wasn't good in that game. The Broncos' defense was not good in that Bills game. He was just a disaster. Like they got timely turnovers. Maybe I'm thinking about this differently than you guys are. I just don't think that people don't talk about that stuff after the fact. The only time that gets brought up, it feels like, are when coaches make critical errors in games. Like nobody cares that Malcolm Butler won that Super Bowl. It doesn't matter that Pete Carroll made a dumbass decision.
Oh, really? That's not what's remembered about that Super Bowl?
People that sit in bars and talk about sports
Nobody
will
talks
absolutely talk about this.
Nobody talks about the fact that Malcolm Butler jumped the route. They talk about the fact that the Seahawks didn't run the damn ball with Marshawn Lynch. That's what that play is.
The disconnect here is you don't talk with people about sports that are real people. You only talk to other people that are in the industry about sports. You don't talk to fans or people who watch it on TV.
Unless you're in the upper deck telling them how much more money you make.
You talk to people who are in press boxes and luxury suites, and you don't sit with somebody at B-Dubs on a corner bar and be like, hey, you remember that Patriots Super Bowl? Yeah, they won it, but they had the easiest path. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's fair. It's fair. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate. We will talk a little bit of Vols hoops. They had a big win over Alabama over the weekend. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Certainly not right now, given the elements. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. No hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family-owned and operated. The techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guaranteed of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That is the Happy Hiller promise. So book online today at happyhiller.com. What song is this? I remember that this is like Hinder Lips of an Angel.
Crossfade, Cold.
Crossfade. This is next
When
level.
it comes back in, this is so lit. Here we go.
Ready? Banger.
And I'm sorry for the way I am. Never meant to be so
This is like
cold.
the same generation as Akon, Smack That on the radio, like all these different songs.
Daughtry. Did you ever listen to Daughtry?
Did I listen to
I
Daughtry?
feel like Daughtry had a hell of a run.
My
He
mom,
did have a run.
My mom used to send hate mail to American Idol
Oh,
because,
Because they eliminated him?
well, yes, because they eliminated him. But she also hated. He was married to a very fat, ugly woman, and my mom was like, he could do so much better. He could do so much better. I'm like, Mom, he's not picking you.
Oh, that's how I know you're healthy. Your Cheyenne voice is back.
Oh, I can do it again. Oh, no. Why did Chris Daughtry's married to a fat, ugly woman? I'm terrified of that.
That was peak American Idol, was the outrage over Daughtry. And he ended up having a better career than the vast majority of American Idol winners.
Bigger outrage. Daughtry getting eliminated or this 7-foot center getting to come back for Alabama?
Not in Tuscaloosa, it wasn't. Bama fans were going nuts. That place was shaking when Charles Bediako checked in and had an instant impact. Did exactly what you expect a professional basketball player to do at the collegiate level. He came in, played 25 minutes, 13 points. It didn't matter. Nate Ament took over. Tennessee 79, Alabama 73.
What? You used to be impartial.
I am impartial.
Now you're actively preying on the Patriots' downfall because you're bitter.
I can't speak with gusto.
You wanna kick Alabama fans in the nuts because they brought back a 35-year-old that couldn't beat you.
35. He gets older every time we reference him.
He's 57.
He's Mike McDonald on the podium last night. We did not care.
Yeah. So what's going on here? Are you okay? You're getting a little emotional.
Needed this one. This was a cathartic win for Tennessee against a rival coming off that meltdown against Kentucky. You had a few days to stew on it.
Somebody said, Blue Coach, you're next.
Oh, no, the next one's even better. Ramon said this. Tennessee is undefeated in G League play.
No.
Just trying to go 1-0.
That's a line.
Yep.
Well done, Ramon Foster.
Nate Ament did the thing that people have been waiting for him to do all year long. He just was assertive. He just took over at some point in the second half. 10 of 20 from the floor, hit a couple of three-pointers, 7 rebounds, career high, 29 points to go with 3 assists as well. So one of the better performances by a freshman in recent SEC history. And it kind of overshadowed Jacoby Gillespie's excellent performance with 24 points. But Tennessee with a much, much needed bounce-back road win.
Don't look now, but Tennessee owns Alabama in basketball.
A little bit. Rick Barnes, that was not the case early in the Nate Oates era, but Rick Barnes has gotten it back.
5th straight win for Tennessee over Alabama. It's the longest streak, ESPN Stats and Info with this. It's longest streak since 1968 to 1972.
There you go. Tennessee goes to Georgia, a pretty good Georgia team, Wednesday in a game that was supposed to be played Tuesday but was pushed due to the winter storm.
Yeah, a lot of games being Grizzlies. I can't remember who they're hosting yesterday or supposed to host, but they postponed the game within 3 hours of tip-off yesterday because the weather's so bad in West Tennessee.
Vandy is set to host Kentucky tomorrow night after getting right and ending a little losing streak, taking care of business at Mississippi State on Saturday. And they get the Cats at home, who also are starting to string together some wins.
So Titans fans are like Vikings fans today. They're both dealing with very bad breakups. And unfortunately for both of those fan bases, their ex won the breakup. We'll talk about who's down worse today. Titans fans watching Mike Vrabel or Vikings fans watching Sam Darnold. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
It is 10:59. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Super Bowl 60 is set. It will be the Patriots and Seahawks in Santa Clara on February 8th. The Seahawks won a thriller over the Rams in the NFC Championship. 31-27, the final. Sam Darnold with the season-high 346 passing yards to go with 3 touchdowns. New England won in Denver 10-7, gutting it out in the snow to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2018 season. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back to the show. The second hour is underway. We hope that you're cuddled up next to your friends, your family, your loved ones, maybe a fireplace. Do people listen to the radio? That seems like a dated thing, listening to the radio in your living room with your family. Maybe they just got us on YouTube.
You know what works when your power's out?
What's that?
A radio.
Interesting. All radios work when your power's out?
It's got batteries.
Okay, very good. Radio, undefeated. Never lost. The LeVar Ball of mediums. Either way, the Patriots, they're undefeated on the road. They're headed to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks, excellent team, handling business against the Los Angeles Rams yesterday in the NFC Championship. So the Super Bowl matchup in Santa Clara 2 weeks from now is set. But you're dealing with a couple of jilted ex-lovers on either side of this equation. There's always got to, it's like that. What's the Batman movie with Bane? Is that Dark Knight Rises? Is that the third
That
edition?
is the third, yes.
Dark Knight Rises, I believe, is
Correct.
the Bane edition of the Christian Bale Batman trilogy. And in the opening scene, he's on the plane, right? And they've orchestrated this whole situation to get this guy's DNA and leave the wreckage in their wake, and they leave one of their henchmen on the plane because they expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
Ooh, pretty good. Pretty good, Bane.
If Bane worked at Burger King. Pull up to the second window.
Like fries with that?
Yes. Can I make that a super size?
So, who gets left in the wreckage? Are Vikings fans watching Sam Darnold go on to do the thing that Kevin O'Connell basically told you he wasn't going to be able to do for you? And Titans fans watching Mike Vrabel do the thing that you said he wasn't going to be able to do, and that he'd be one and done in the playoffs, and, he never wanted to be here in the first place. Look at him. He's happy in New England. Eat it. Now he's in the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
So this is a less than ideal situation for both sides. What kind of pasta did you see that made you sigh that way? Because that's the only time you make that kind of a sound.
I'm just perusing the prompt. I want to say Vikings fans because it's more fresh. Like, you just had Sam Darnold. You were just told he's not going to get you where you want to go less than a year ago. And here you are. So I tend to lean with Vikings fans sitting back and looking at their injured quarterback, who hopefully will take a year 3 leap if he can stay healthy, in J.J. McCarthy, and think that they are the more bitter of the X's between the two. Although Titans fans did just have to watch A.J. Brown win a Super Bowl, and now potentially Mike Vrabel gets an opportunity.
Now, maybe it's just because I deal with them more directly. Now, Robert points out I don't actually deal with them directly. I just deal with them via social media or phone calls or things like that. But the visceral response from Titans fans, anytime anybody, not just me, because they think, understandably, that I'm twisting the knife or something like that. No, I think your organization made a dumb decision, and I think you shouldn't have fired that coach. I got why it happened. It doesn't mean it was the right decision. Titans fans respond almost violently online with the level of discussion that breaks out on one side or the other, right? Because there's a contingent of them that maybe they wanted him fired at the time, but now deeply regret the situation, and they're saying Amy Adams Strunk has ruined the franchise. There's another part of them that'll cite, what is the record? 6-18 is the record that's thrown around with Vrabel at the end. all the time and, having some say in roster decisions and the roster depreciating, but it not just being John Robinson's fault. Some of the free agency decisions were on Mike Vrabel, too. All those different things. Todd Downing, right, in the aftermath of hiring Matt LaFleur. Well, getting Matt LaFleur. Mike Vrabel's not the reason that Matt LaFleur was here. John Robinson was the reason that Matt LaFleur ended up staying here for a year as an offensive coordinator before he went to Green Bay. Then they replaced him with Arthur Smith, who orchestrated one of the best offenses in the franchise's history. The 3 years that followed that were pretty ghoulish offensively, even with Derrick Henry, which was the thing that was supposed to be your superpower. And Derrick still, obviously, has stuff left in the tank. They just failed massively all around him. I think it's Titans fans because they have done, like Vikings fans have at least done some winning in the last couple of years. This has been just a series of unfortunate events to be a Titans fan at every turn. That include Mike Vrabel, by the way. That include 7 straight losses. And include the failed Rand Carthon forced marriage and the Will Levis experience and all this different thing, because it's just been a never-ending downhill cycle of crap for them. I don't blame them for being petulant. It would be unpleasant, be deeply unpleasant. Vikings fans are I don't know. I think you still have a good coach in O'Connell, and the McCarthy thing not working out immediately, to your point, feels a little bit more fresh. But this is a domino effect for Tennessee fans that they've just had to eat for 4 straight years now, and now the X is literally in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess just for Vikings fans, what could it be if Sam Darnold was still your quarterback this year? Would they be in the Super Bowl? I don't know. But it would be markedly better than what it was, I would imagine, with J.J. McCarthy in and out of the lineup, having to start Carson Wentz and Max Brosmer in multiple games. Whereas if you're the Titans, where would you be right now if Mike Vrabel was still your coach? There's no way of knowing that for sure, but I think the biggest flaw in the logic of saying, look where he is and look where we are, is this idea that would be us if Mike Vrabel was still our coach, right? Like he didn't walk into a situation where there's a quarterback in place in Drake May who has taken the leap he was supposed to take, where the cards fell for Josh McDaniels to return to the place where he developed Tom Brady for years and years. Mike Vrabel had his opportunity to influence getting a quarterback in here post Ryan Tannehill. It was Will Levis. In New England, he has Drake May, and he's clearly learned from a lot of things that let him down in Tennessee. The Titans just aren't the ones that get to reap the benefits from that.
Worth noting that Will Levis did play better under Tim Kelly and Mike Vrabel than he did under Brian Callahan. And I don't know that it would work, right? I have no idea that the Levis thing, you're probably still in a situation where you'd rather move on from Will Levis rather than do what they did, which is build around him in the Callahan situation. But like the Levis thing, even Malik didn't thrive by any stretch of the imagination under Mike. Levis he was not as disastrous as he was when they just turned the thing over to him and then spent $228 million around him. The mistake was building around Will, and they're still chasing a lot of that. Mike's not blameless in all of this, just as he's not blameless for getting fired. You can't, if your boss is more fragile than Bob Kraft is, you can't deal with your boss like any other football person. It doesn't work like that in a lot of different places. Now, ideally, would you like Amy to be able to handle the situation and deal with difficult personalities and egos to an extent? Of course, you don't want to, you don't have to deal with disrespect, but you do have to navigate a lot of these things. If you're any kind of like CEO type, owner of a business type, you're going to have to manage a lot of difficult situations with a lot of difficult people over the course of your career. I think Bob Kraft is doing that and has done that with Belichick and Vrabel. I think that it's a lot easier for Mike to get right than it is the Titans. Because to your point, he stepped into a situation that he got to pick from, right? And the Titans are dealing with the fallout of their own making, but there's far more fallout for them to clean up than there is for Mike to jump to New England and be like, all right, let's spend the money. We got the quarterback. Oh, I get Josh McDaniels too? That's been my biggest issue. Great. But also I get to bring the guy with me that I wanted to be the GM here, who, by the way, is not lost on me, is standing closer to him on the podium than Elliot Wolf is, whatever closet they still have Elliot Wolf stuffed in when they went up to New England and took it over. So I think there's a world in which Mike Vrabel gets another opportunity, and you don't have to be Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, right? You don't have to keep banging your head on the ceiling, even though you're making the playoffs with regularity. I think you can do what a lot of teams seem to be doing, which is find replacement level quarterback play without having to crater the thing.
I wonder about closure for both parties we're talking about here, Vikings fans and Titans fans. Which of the two parties, it stings to see your ex go on and flourish no matter what. But if you were in a long-term relationship and it ends and you see that ex-significant other go on to be happy and she's married and has a great career and all of these things, it can sting to feel like you were on the losing end of the breakup. But what if she just hated your dog? She was never going to be able to live with your dog. And you can say, yeah, it sucks to be on the losing end of this, but also it was never going to work. She hated my dog. That's closure. I, putting my Titans fan hat on, have some closure that I feel like the Mike Vrabel era was headed down a certain path in Tennessee, where the roster had deteriorated. That is not all on Mike Vrabel. Of course, John Robinson was already out. And of course, the organization contributed to it by promptly hiring Rand Carthon, forcing that marriage, and then firing him very quickly thereafter. It would have been a long way up with no clear solution at quarterback. These what ifs about Malik Willis if he was still in Tennessee, acting like we would see the Malik Willis we saw in Green Bay under LaFleur. In my opinion, the Vrabel era here was headed down a certain path that does not even come close to matching up with what it's been in New England. Whereas Vikings fans had this quarterback 1 year ago. Don't have a bad roster around the quarterback.
No, they're in a window for sure.
And have good offensive-minded head coach that is an established play caller. I feel like the what-ifs for Vikings fans are stronger watching Sam Darnold go to the Super Bowl than it is for Titans fans watching Mike Vrabel go. It stings both ways.
Yeah, it's not a good situation to be in.
I think you lost Buck early on in that when you were like, pretend that you were in a long-term relationship.
Yeah, or like dogs.
Well, it was. See, I thought that's where you got him back. It's like, yeah, you broke up, but she hated your cat.
Okay.
And then Buck's like,
Yeah,
okay,
that
yeah,
would've been better.
I'm back. I understand that.
But that gives you closure. Like, yeah, she's doing great, but it wouldn't have worked between us. That's somewhat how I feel about Mike Vrabel and the Titans.
I think that's something that people tell themselves because the reality is you can find another Ryan Tannehill situation and Jimmy Garoppolo made it to a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold is in a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold is playing very high-level football for sure, but like about 80% of quarterback play, especially with the amount of rehabilitated quarterback situations that we have going. Now, we don't know if they hire the right people in the same way that I have no way to tell you one way or the other that it wasn't heading in the wrong direction. I have no idea if he hires an offensive coordinator, the caliber of Josh McDaniels, that fixes his biggest problem here at the end was that they couldn't score points. Like that at the end of the day really is what it boils down to. His staff decisions post Arthur Smith were tough. They were tough to navigate, and he was dug in. I think that both sides, what you hope, just like in any good relationship, and this is something that I can further the metaphor with a little bit, Robert, is that you just learn something from it, right? Like, don't be bitter. Please, if you're the Titans, please, God, learn how to navigate your next situation more deftly. Take the lessons that you learned from this, just as I don't think he's the same coach there.
No question he's not.
As he was here. I think not only did he improve post you, but he got better.
Yeah. Who's his offensive line coach in New England?
Doug Marrone.
Right. Who's his assistant offensive line coach in New England?
Jason Hotailing.
Jason Hotailing, who was the offensive line coach here towards the end. So, yes, I'd say he has made some adjustments there. It's easy to say if you had just found replacement-level quarterback play, but they didn't.
That's not what it's not just about that, okay? Because Andre Dillard was getting Ryan Tannehill high ankle sprains left and right. Tannehill was fine when you could protect him, and then you couldn't protect him, and Tannehill fell off a cliff physically and everything else. The biggest thing here that they have to do is they have to learn from their mistakes. They have to trust the football people who have more experience in these departments than they do, if you're Amy Adams Strunk, to do the jobs that you hired them to do. Mike Borgonzi, this is the next example of this. Learn from your mistakes with Mike Vrabel and let Mike Borgonzi do his job. I'm not saying that you have to give over your entire organization to him. I'm saying you have to let him make the decisions that you hired him to make. We don't have any evidence that that's gone one way or the other just yet, but those are the things that you're hoping to see. You're hoping to see growth from her and from them as an organization as a result, because their failure is ultimately her failure. It's reflective of her at the top and the decision-making that snowballed ever since you greenlit the A.J. Brown trade and everything went up in smoke.
I guess my follow-up is, what decisions were they not allowing Mike Vrabel to make?
They didn't give him the level of roster control that he wanted.
Right, which is not what he was hired to do. He was hired to be the head coach, not the general manager.
That's fine, but he was not hired to be the general manager in New England. He wanted a general manager that he wanted to work with here. He didn't get Ryan Cowden. They forced a marriage with Fran Carthon.
But the context, the pretext under which he was hired in New England was very much one that was,
but let's just take the Ryan Carthon example. His advice was, love working with Rand, really enjoy him. They still clearly have a good relationship. Post fact, I don't know if you've seen Rand Carthon's diatribes on CBS Sports about how much Mike Vrabel meant to his family after Rand Carthon got fired here. They forced a marriage on him where he recommended that Rand Carthon be an assistant general manager, and let's keep Ryan in a position because we know how to get this thing done. Mm-hmm. They did not take the football people's advice, and the football thing blew up in their face. And now they're still chasing that 2 years after the fact.
No doubt. That, to me, is a bigger mistake to highlight than to say they didn't let Mike Vrabel make the decisions they hired him to make. That's not what happened here. If Mike Vrabel wanted to make decisions higher than the level at which he was hired,
he requested that. They denied that.
Right. And I don't feel like he necessarily earned that with the downturn of the results that were not all on him roster-wise. But I do think it just becomes revisionist history on what happened here, that the Titans fired a coach that had them winning at a high level and fired him over an argument, ignoring the fact that they were.
Would they be in a better place than they are right now?
Oh,
would
certainly.
Would they be viewed as a joke?
I don't think they would have had a 3-14 under Mike Vrabel. No doubt about that. And they've had back-to-back now. Yes. Potentially, it got them their future franchise quarterback, but that's not something we're going to know right at this moment.
And for all the good that does franchises like the Jets, who watched their franchise quarterback play in the Super Bowl for Seattle.
Sure. It does some franchises well, and it does the dysfunctional ones pretty poorly.
What would you call this situation? Because they're a hell of a lot closer to the Jets and the Browns of late than they are one of these good organizations.
In the last 3 to 4 years, yes. But that's a small sample size, and it's up to them to dig out of it.
It's getting bigger every day. 615-737-1045 is the number. NFL headlines are next.
It may be freezing outside, but the NFL offseason is just heating up. And for that, we have NFL headlines with Lucas Panzica.
Welcome back to the show, presented by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. A little bit of local scheduling adjustment news. The Titans will introduce Robert Saleh to the media on Thursday at 2 p.m. instead of Wednesday. It has been postponed for 24 hours due to weather conditions. So, we'll talk to Saleh on Thursday.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have hired Mike McCarthy.
Nobody's happy about it.
If you're wrong, you're so wrong. You cannot be more wrong. You could not be more wrong.
Ledyard is losing his mind.
Everyone
Nate
else.
Washington texted me, dripping with venom.
He told us Thursday he was not a fan.
The idea, he said, that, well, I mean, we could talk to Nate about this Thursday. I'm sure he'll still be stewing in it. But the idea that Shieldhouse, McVay's right-hand man, was out there, the opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers to do something that is completely outside of their norm and outside of their DNA to make you think that, no, they might have actually fired Mike Tomlin at the end instead of just letting him walk out the door and keeping things status quo. May I present to you Mike McCarthy on his third term. Woof.
Mike McCarthy now coaches his third NFL team, from Packers to Cowboys to Pittsburgh Steelers. So is your point there that the Steelers just haven't, there's the same Steelers?
That's
is that what you're saying?
That's, at least if I understand, I listen to Ledyard. John Ledyard is an NFL draft analyst. He does a lot of scouting. It's a really good podcast that he and Ollie Connolly do. And Ledyard, who does analysis online, but also is a Steelers fan, was fearing this from the moment that Tomlin decided that he was stepping down, right? Not that Mike Tomlin was fired. This is not the Steelers doing something. This is not the Steelers changing. This is not the Steelers recognizing that they're stale and taking a step in a more innovative direction. It's the Steelers basically allowing things to be status quo and going with the most obvious option, which is Mike McCarthy.
He is now one of how many coaches in NFL history that have been the head coach at 3 or more teams?
Is it like 5?
No, much more.
Much more?
Yeah.
Oh, how many?
20.
Oh, really?
I mean, some of the names on here, now this includes interim tags.
Okay.
But if you shave
Still.
off the interim, I think it's around 15.
I would have thought 10 was high.
Mike Mularkey is on this list.
Oh, that's right.
Todd Bowles is on this list, but one of those is as an interim. Same with Pat Shurmur and same with Romeo Crennel. But Lovie Smith.
Pat Shurmur was a head coach 3 times?
Browns, Giants, and then the interim in Philly.
What?
Lovie Smith, Dan Reeves, Norv Turner, long list. John Fox. So it's interesting you say that because it is, if you look at the last 2 hires the Steelers made, quite a departure from what they did in those cycles.
Yeah.
When they hired young, up-and-coming, defensive-minded coaches like Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin.
20 years ago.
Quite the departure for Pittsburgh if we are to look at the precedent that they have laid in previous coaching searches for them to hire an accomplished coach that has led 2 different franchises. And now Mike McCarthy, I mean, of these coaches that have coached 3 franchises, I don't know how many have coached, sort of cornerstone franchises like Steelers, Cowboys, and Green Bay Packers all in one career.
You know why it's frustrating to Steelers fans? It ups the percentage chance that Aaron Rodgers comes back. They don't want that. They don't want that at all. It's the same thing. They swapped out the shirt for the exact same shirt. They just bought 4 of them at the department store. Like,
I guess what
McCarthy and Rodgers is basically Tomlin and Rodgers.
What's the better recourse right now? Like, what should the Pittsburgh Steelers do at quarterback?
Isn't this the thing that Titans fans are telling me that they needed to get rid of Vrabel so they can bottom out and get a franchise quarterback?
Steelers have no interest in that.
As an organization, no.
And bottoming out.
Of course not.
No organization
You shouldn't,
does.
by the way, but God.
So are Steelers fans revolting? Like, are they all upset right now?
Very upset. And again, I try not to assign the emotions of an entire fan base to just the segment that you see online. But I've got a couple of friends, actually, that work for the Steelers. They are talking about how unhappy their fan base is. Nate Washington is a former Steelers player. Actively, what? That I got friends that work for other NFL teams?
Yes.
Well, that's lame.
That's
That's dramatic by you.
Yeah, that's not dramatic. We haven't hit you with a fine in a long time. We've been letting a lot of it slip.
I haven't name dropped.
I think saying sources.
I didn't say sources.
No, but that's basically, I have people inside the Steelers organization without naming them.
I didn't say that at all.
Those are always my favorite because it could be anybody.
You're talking to a jail.
I literally did the opposite. I said a friend of mine works for the Steelers. They're talking about how pissed their fan base is. Get out of here with your fine. I reject your fine.
I'm doubling the fine.
Maybe I'm just a dumb little simpleton that sits back and looks at Mike McCarthy's resume and says, yeah, I'm good with that. If we get a small piece
but
of
you're
what
not
he's
the
done at his last 2 stops.
You're not a fan of one of the most reputable and...
yeah, I understand. They're trying to elevate. They're at a certain level, and they're petering out.
Fan. Of course
they're trying to elevate.
You'd be drunk and naked in the streets if you got Mike McCarthy. You're a Titans fan, for God's sakes.
But I don't know. I see a guy that's done almost nothing but win. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Third time's the charm.
Well, Arthur Smith was the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. Robert's thrilled about it.
Look at him.
I'm just tickled. Because I was worried, oh, man. Oh,
they're gonna do something crazy.
They're going to get Shula, and it's going to be him and Mentor. We're going to have defensive battles, defensive masterminds. They're going to find a young guy who's going to come in and fix it, and it's like, oh, just kidding.
No, they got all excited when they saw Tom Pelissero's AI picture of him with a cigarette sticking out the side of his head and said, that's our guy.
Well, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying, oh, they're going to suck with Mike McCarthy. I still think they'll be good.
Yeah.
But I think that hiring Mike McCarthy puts you in the purgatory that they have been trying to get out of the last 10 years with Tomlin.
They are almost the exact same team with McCarthy or Tomlin because they will have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback in all likelihood, and it will be the exact same thing. Enjoy the Houston Texans wild card weekend.
And they'll be picking after the 20 picks. They're never going to get a good draft pick, never going to get a good quarterback because they're just good enough to be above average.
So, Pittsburgh hires McCarthy. Baltimore hires Jesse Minter. New York Giants hire John Harbaugh. Miami Dolphins hire Jeff Hafley.
New York Giants also hired Denard Wilson.
Oh. As
defensive coordinator.
Okay, I missed that.
Yes. Denard made official yesterday.
And we don't know if Todd Monken is going to go work for Harbaugh because he is still in consideration for the Cleveland job.
He is the only one who hasn't pulled his name out of the Cleveland Browns job.
He and Jim Schwartz, it would seem. So
I love Harbaugh kind of leaked that he's the dude. Did we ever play that audio?
We never played that audio.
But just to hash it back out, Harbaugh's getting interviewed by the New York Giants media, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you think Monken's going to bring?" And he's like, well, yeah, he's talked to a lot of the guys. I think the guys are going to love him. I mean, if he gets the job, it's like they still have to do interviews.
Yeah, all but confirming that will happen. So we'll see what happens with Todd Monken in Cleveland. But the Dolphins hire Hafley. Atlanta hires Kevin Stefanski. Of course, the Titans hire Robert Saleh. So Arizona, Vegas, Cleveland, and Buffalo are the 4 jobs that are still open. Arthur Smith will not be taking any of those jobs. He is the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, dipping down into the college game to work for Ryan Day. If I'm not mistaken, this will be Art's first college football job.
Oh, I want to say he was a GA somewhere. Does that count as a college football job?
He was a GA
North
Carolina, and then he was a defensive intern at Ole Miss in 2010.
Because he played, I think he was an offensive lineman at North Carolina, if I remember that correctly.
He was. So right after his playing career ended, he stayed on as a GA and then moved up in a quality control role at Washington in the NFL, and then back to college with Ole Miss, and then started his long career as an assistant with the Titans. So that's an interesting fit. Arthur Smith going to have a loaded roster.
Best college job out there.
Best college OC job, no question.
As an offensive coordinator. So I know Titans fan, because I tweeted after the fact, they're just kind of sitting on their hands around here waiting for Daboll, yeah? I mean, I know they're interviewing Kingsbury and the Packers OC today. What is it? Stenovich?
The Packers OC is Adam Stenovich.
Adam Stenovich. So those 2 candidates are being interviewed by the Titans today for offensive coordinator. But it just seems kind of like they're waiting around for Daboll to make a decision.
Or the Bills to make a decision. I think it's more about the
Bills to make a decision. But even then, like Daboll's interviewing late for the Vegas job. What if he just wants to be a head coach? I don't like this. we'll see what Robert Saleh says on Thursday. I hate the idea that we're waiting until Thursday to do this damn press conference. I know nobody cares about that.
I mean, that's kind of what this coaching cycle has been, right? It's very late in the game for 4 teams still to not have a head coach.
I know, but you're the team that was supposed to have a jump on this because you fired him in October.
Other than making you grumpy that you have to wait, I'm not sure. Like, tell me what is the tangible.
You think Titans fans feel good about the fact that they hired a defensive-minded head coach with nothing concrete at OC right now?
There's a whole process to play out. You didn't know that Rooney Rule applies to coordinators when Saleh was hired, but
no, Ben Jones texted us that. You didn't know it either.
Yeah. Well, but I remember the day they hired Saleh.
No, yeah, the offensive lineman that's on the show told us.
Just because he texted both of us doesn't mean that I didn't already know. I assumed you knew that.
You didn't know.
But bad assumption by me. I understand. But like the day they hired Saleh, you're like, why isn't it in and out? Why don't we know who the offensive coordinator is? Why don't we know? It's like, dude. They have to go through a process. They have to interview people. Like the situation is going to fall.
No, it's not. Why don't we know? It's I don't care about his hire without a concrete plan at offensive coordinator. That doesn't mean anything to me until we see a definitive and clear plan, which may come to fruition. By the way,
so they shouldn't have their bases covered on waiting to see who is available and who isn't to make that hire. Then
I am saying that people asked for my reaction to Robert Saleh, and my reaction was, I don't care about the hiring of the failed Jets coach because he failed the first time around without a good plan for a young quarterback in place. In fact, he made it worse when he traded away Sam Darnold and drafted Zach Wilson. I reserve the right to have that opinion of Robert Saleh until we see who the offensive coordinator is. That's fair. The opinion.
That's fair, but I mean,
it's not like I need to. No, what else do we got to do? They keep pushing the press conference down the road. What else are we supposed to do? That's the closest thing to Titans talk we can give people.
What does it matter?
When are they going to do something? I don't know. When's he going to talk?
This Thursday versus Monday. What does it matter?
If it makes you feel any better, only John Harbaugh has had his initial press conference.
And it doesn't.
And he also does not have his offensive coordinator in place yet. So
he keeps leaking out there to the media that he's going to hire.
Why don't you keep your powder dry, bud? It's okay. They're going to hire an offensive coordinator.
God,
I know they will.
I hope so.
Get ready to learn Mike LaFleur.
What are we doing, guys? I don't know. Go figure it out, fellas.
But what must you have been as a child? If you didn't get something now, I want it now.
Well, I always did. So
you would have miserably failed the marshmallow test.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you never had to do the marshmallow test?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We've talked about this. It's a scientific experiment, like a psychological experiment with children in a room, and they have a marshmallow in front of them. Each of them has one marshmallow.
Okay.
And they are told, you can eat that marshmallow now, or you can wait, 3-5 minutes, whatever it is. And if you wait, you'll get a second marshmallow. But if you just eat that one marshmallow, then you don't get the second marshmallow. And the kids that waited for the second marshmallow and showed some patience went on to do great things in life. I don't know what happened to the ones that went and ate the marshmallow. I would have passed
this test because I don't like marshmallows.
Anyway, Arizona, Vegas, Cleveland, Buffalo. As Buck demands to know why the Titans don't have an offensive coordinator yet, not knowing that Rooney Rule applies to coordinators.
Not that I demand to know who their offensive coordinator is going to be or why it isn't done yet. It's that I am not impressed with the hire until we know who the offensive coordinator is.
You just grumbled about why don't we know who the offensive coordinator is?
No, I grumbled about why we don't have a press conference yet. Again, you don't listen.
That also just is not something worth grumbling about. Jags offensive coordinator Grant Udinsky has pulled out of the Browns search, so they are currently looking for their next head coach. I feel like there's not enough good candidates with how many jobs are left open. I feel like the demand may be outweighing the supply here. Like, we don't know which of these guys are going to work, but there are some names dropping here that I never would have thought to be a head coaching candidate in this cycle that are very much candidates in this cycle. Grant Udinsky, who obviously is a part of the success in Jacksonville this year, does not call plays.
He's 2 years younger than me.
He's incredibly young.
You want to talk about young? How about Davis Webb, passing game coordinator for the Broncos? Dude's like 30 years old. He's coached in the NFL for like 2.5 years.
Yep, Bills are talking to him too.
That's who Fitzy wants to be the Raiders' next head coach.
The Ravens raved about him in his interview.
Was it you that was telling me that his nickname is Dragon?
No, that wasn't me, but that's incredible.
His nickname is Dragon. I think it was Fitzy. His nickname is Dragon Webb.
If he can make the Raiders win, he'll be dragging something else. I'll tell you that.
So I don't know how this is going to fall with these last 4 jobs. It's fascinating. Like, which of these 4 fan bases feels the best right now? Like, Buffalo fans, I suppose, they're going to be the most attractive.
No, you don't feel good about that. They found a way to make Josh Allen not attractive.
And they're talking to everybody. That they're talking to Joe Brady and Brian Daboll. Mike McDaniel pulled out of that. He is going to go be the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. Phillip Rivers has removed his name from consideration for the Buffalo Bills head coaching job. And the Bills also will speak to Davis Webb. So the Bills seem to have a very wide net, even as we sit here on January 26th. And so, yes, like these things have an effect not just on who the Titans will hire at offensive coordinator, but I'm sure assistant jobs across the league. Like we acted like it was this sure thing that, no, John Harbaugh's bringing Todd Monken. Yeah, if he doesn't get the Browns job, what if he gets the Browns job? What's Harbaugh's pivot going to be? I don't know what Robert Saleh's pivot is going to be, but you just a little bit of patience. Like sit back, see how it falls.
John Harbaugh and Robert Saleh do not get the same amount of grace in terms of how their hiring process goes. Ridiculous.
Hold on. We're not talking about comparing them as coaches.
That's literally what you just did. You just compared their situations.
You must not have listened. I'm talking about the circumstances of hiring your offensive coordinator. What do you want the Titans to do? You want the Titans to go hire somebody because you just want to have one now because you said so in case Brian Daboll does get the job? What if he doesn't get the Bills job?
I don't care what they do. I'm just saying there's nothing to feel good about with Robert Saleh until you know who the offensive coordinator is, if that's something to feel good about. I think that's a completely fine position to have.
But you understand why we don't know who the offensive coordinator is.
Of course I do.
Okay, because it hadn't seemed like it for the last 2 weeks. It not looked like that at all.
You acting that you've known a rule for 100 years that Ben Jones texted you about 2 days ago is ridiculous.
You've not made it very clear that you understand why the Titans have not hired their OC.
No,
so
what I have made eminently clear is that I am not impressed with the hire until there's a reason to be.
Those are the headlines.
Very good. 615-737-1045 is the number. Oh. Robert. Robert.
I know. I don't want to alarm anybody, but I know.
It's Mock Draft Monday. Next. Mock Draft Monday. We have been fighting Lucas tooth and nail. The only thing he's been more resistant to than the Patriots in the Super Bowl and Mike Vrabel's return to the biggest game in the NFL is Mock Draft Monday. But it's too late. You have to give the people what you want. Aren't you supposed to be the man of the people around here? People have been asking for mock drafts for months. You've denied them.
I am a man of the people, which is why I'm here to tell you the latest numbers from Nashville Electric Service. Mock Draft Monday will have to wait unless you don't think this is important.
Robert, what do you want first? You want
I want him to
warming
do
center updates?
Do
or-
this quickly.
Okay. Over 55,000 customers have had their power restored, according to the latest numbers. There are over 275 line workers in the field. There are still over 174,000 people without power, but Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell has spoken. He said they have doubled the number of linemen working. Primary and secondary routes have seen progress, and they have responded well to the plows. They have 45 snow plows and drivers working in 12-hour shifts, and they remind folks to not call 911 if you lose power, but report the outage to NES. If you see a downed power line, that is a situation where you can call 911 and do not approach it.
They have been busting their ass.
Yeah, they really
man.
have.
Like, I drove around yesterday when my power first went out just to see the trees and stuff. Roads looked incredible. Main roads, super clear. Like, there were some spots, but, I mean, it has been a tough road to hoe, if you will, but they have done a fantastic job.
Killing it.
Well, they just need people to follow the guidance because the amount of, accidents. All right, so I live relatively close to Metro Center, which is where the Titans practice facility is. I don't know how many people are familiar with that side of Rosa Parks, but there's all kind of fast food restaurants over there, right? There's a Starbucks, there's a McDonald's. Lucas, have you been at McDonald's over there by the Titans facility?
Oh yeah.
You know the one that I'm talking about. There's a pretty steep incline to get to the drive-through.
Yep.
I sat there across the street at the from the ATM this morning, watching people trying to go up that incline at the McDonald's and repeatedly failing, sliding back down in their vehicles and being so determined to get their bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin that they would then attempt to go up again. I saw multiple people wrecking cars because they refused to be denied their McDonald's trying to get up this hill. It's not that serious. You can wait 2 days before you get your hash browns. It's ridiculous.
I've walked through that McDonald's drive-thru before.
How sober were you?
Incredibly.
Yeah. I can't remember. It was after a Greta Van Fleet concert.
Yeah. Correct. Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah. 2018.
Mock Draft Monday. So, Robert, Daniel Jeremiah knew that this was going to be our first Mock Draft Monday because he on NFL.com did us the courtesy of producing Mock Draft 1.0.
That's my dude.
And Titans fans are going to hate it.
Love DJ.
They're going to be like, we already have one.
With the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, the Raiders take Fernando Mendoza. The Jets at 2, Arvell Reese, who we'll get into this more. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a ton of Senior Bowl coverage from a Titans perspective because Salah's not even speaking till Thursday of this week, and the Senior Bowl is this week. Although I'm sure Mike Borgonzi will have some level of availability. Arvell Reese at 2 to the Jets. Spencer Fano, the Utah offensive tackle, at 3 to the Arizona Cardinals. And in keeping with that theme, the Titans take Francis Mauigoa, the offensive tackle from Miami, who, by the way, is really good.
Oh, he's a stud.
Really stinking good.
Really good.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Probably
But
the
he's
best
a tackle.
in this draft.
Oh, for sure.
Does he project as a right tackle?
I believe so, but I would need to dig a little deeper to verify that.
It simply says this offseason is about helping Cam Ward take the next step, and that starts with doing a better job of protecting him. Mauigoa has excellent size and strength that still has room to develop.
And says, are you kidding me? OG says no with a bunch of O's.
You wanted Mock Draft Monday.
You got it.
If you're
Here it
drafted
is.
Francis Mauigoa, you're replacing J.C. Latham, I guess, after 2 years.
Well, just move JC inside, right? Make him a guard.
You would have a
Top 10.
a mega line, dude.
2 top 11 picks at each guard spot.
Chris Butler. I love when people accuse people of rage baiting when they just disagree with the opinion that's being offered. This is Daniel Jeremiah. Okay, this is not some blogger.
Daniel Jeremiah made this mock draft specifically to rage bait Titans fans.
It said, Chris Butler literally just typed, I assume with seriousness, that is just for clicks and to rage bait the fan base. Brother, nobody care about your fan base, Dashley, okay? He's just doing a mock draft. He's the NFL Network's premier draft analyst.
The glee you get out of reminding people that.
It's just the truth. Like,
it doesn't have to make you so happy.
It doesn't make me happy. It's just like, how do you not know this by now? They don't care about you. So, no, they're not rage baiting you. So how far do you have to scroll down before you get to Reuben Bain? Oh, he doesn't like Reuben Bain, does he? 9 to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, that would be a great fit. Him and Spags with Chris Jones, that would be incredible. Really needed for them, too. They didn't really get the push from their front four that they were getting in previous years.
So, Daniel Jeremiah, and again, maybe he's basing this off team fit. He has Arvell Reese and David Bailey, the Texas Tech edge, and Sonny Styles, who's a linebacker. He's not an edge guy. He has 2 edge players going before Reuben Bain, and Reuben Bain still being a top 10 pick, but sliding down to 9 to the Chiefs. All right. How do we feel?
We haven't really gauged where Titans fans are right now with the number 4 pick. Is it wide receiver / edge or bust?
I feel like the more Miami played into the postseason, the more that the Reuben Bain stuff got louder just because you're seeing more of him.
You sure? And Francis Mauigoa, apparently.
Titans fans praying that he Maui goes to another team.
If they shouldn't. He's
a really good player.
He's a really good player. It's not like your offensive line was great. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't know that they would do it. I have no idea. Honest to God, I hope at the end of the day it's still best player available regardless of position, even though they have clear, glaring positional needs. But the idea of them picking a tackle at 4, that has to just make the fan base miserable. I don't know how realistic it is. It's just the first iteration of the mock draft. We haven't done Senior Bowl, haven't done Combine, haven't done Shrine Bowl's this week, isn't it?
Shrine Bowl is tomorrow.
Shrine Bowl is tomorrow. So we are in the very preliminary phases of the pre-draft process.
It is fun to kind of use right now as a touch point, pre-Senior Bowl, and say, what's everybody thinking about the number 4 overall pick? And then revisit it like on draft week.
I assure you nobody responding to that poll said tackle.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like there are 3 names that have been exchanged among Titans fans. David Bailey, Texas Tech, Reuben Bain, Miami, 2 guys that can get after the quarterback, and Carnell Tate at Ohio State.
I don't think you can take him at 4.
Is he the best receiver in this draft?
He may well be, but they don't have the best receiver in this draft. No, he has Mekhi Lemon going before Carnell Tate. He has Carnell Tate 16th to the Jets.
Interesting.
I think a lot of evaluators are starting to see, like, he didn't have a lot of drops. In fact, I don't think he had a single drop this entire year, but his ability to separate is being brought into question. So being a 50-50 ball guy where Lemon is more of a do more type of wide receiver, you could see why. And Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. A lot of people saying that that's their number 1. The big issue with him is the injuries.
Combine might be big for the receivers.
I mean, they do need an offensive lineman.
I hope you picked this up. This is what they...
Should I just bother them? I'm so not above that at all.
This should be for clicks. What they're alleging Daniel Jeremiah is doing, you will adopt it.
He didn't do it, but I'll do it.
Out of Pappy. Just for poops and laughs, who's getting taken at 14?
Just close your eyes, pick the number.
Just curious.
Ola Vega. How do I say it? The offensive guard from Penn State.
Oh, wow. Okay. Don't hate that.
Because Daniel Jeremiah is so focused on Ravens click, says the Ravens need to upgrade a guard.
He knows we need an edge. Come on. Give me an edge in your fake mock draft, damn it.
Oh, I mean, it's as close to the real thing as we can get. See, didn't that feel good, Lucas? Didn't that feel good?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. Feel a little bit of dopamine?
Yeah, it was a little fast.
Tickle your fancy? Something to wet your whistle? Something to get your appetite started?
It was quick and easy.
Little offensive tackle?
Something above the trenches. Middle of something in front.
Oh my God, it's already the final hour. Next.
12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. Super Bowl 60 is set. The Patriots and Seahawks will face off in Santa Clara on February 8th. The Seahawks won a thriller over the Rams 31-27. Sam Darnold with a season-high 346 yards to go with 3 touchdowns. And New England won in Denver 10-7, gutting it out in the snow to get back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 2018 season. The NFL coaching carousel keeps spinning. Over the weekend, the Pittsburgh Steelers made it official. Mike McCarthy will take over, replacing Mike Tomlin. McCarthy with his 3rd NFL head coaching gig. There are 4 openings left across the league. The Titans did announce today that Robert Saleh's introductory press conference has been moved from Wednesday to Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time due to the winter weather. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
I just want you to remember, the next time that you think Lucas Panzica is on your side, he's not. Look how much the chat is enjoying Mock Draft Monday. How long have you deprived people selfishly when at every turn you yell at me about doing what I want to do as opposed to what the audience wants? There it is, right in front of you, plain as day. The people have been dying for mock draft opinion, mock draft debate with the number 4 overall pick. And you waited until January 26th to finally
the appropriate
deign
time
yourself to participate in the conversation.
The appropriate time to begin talking about the NFL draft.
Apparently not.
You're welcome to all for not exhausting the conversation before the damn Senior Bowl gets here.
I mean, the coach isn't even going to be at the Senior Bowl. the Senior Bowl practices are going to be going on. Robert Saleh is still 2 days away from giving a press conference. It's been moved to Thursday, by the way, for those of you who missed that update earlier in the show. He was already delayed to Wednesday. Now the weather situation has delayed things further till Thursday. And by the way, I mean, the weather, the road conditions out there, I know for the 3 of us. Robert, what part of town did you move to? Remind me.
What are you, a narc? You want to know my street address?
I'm never going to go to your house.
It's much closer now. You might actually do it. I'm like on the bottom side of Donaldson. Like coming into town on the other side of the airport.
All right. So we're all, for the most part, inside the perimeter. For a lot of people in Franklin and Brentwood and West Nashville and, Madison, the conditions look pretty treacherous. And just having seen a little bit of it myself today, I completely acknowledge why it would be okay to put off the press conference for weather for another day. So you will wait until Thursday at 2 o'clock to hear from the new Titans coach. In the meantime, as we talk about the Super Bowl matchup.
Are you serious?
It just came down.
Robert just said in our ear. Did he not say that to you?
No.
No, I don't tell him.
Tell them what you told me.
Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders has bhan added to the Pro Bowl as a replacement.
Pro Bowler.
No.
They said it couldn't be done.
Titans fans not having a bad enough day. Cam Ward can't even get a Rookie of the Year nomination.
So is he the...
Shedeur's going to the Pro Bowl.
He's replacing Drake May, I guess?
I would assume so, yes. He is the Tyler Huntley.
Why is Shedeur even eligible? No. Tyler Huntley played more NFL games.
We can't find a better AFC quarterback to send to the Pro Bowl?
They're all hurt.
That's insane. What are the other quarterbacks that are going?
No way. No way is Shedeur Sanders going to...
Josh was like, I cannot leave the house. I'm so scared to leave Haley alone. I cannot leave. Michael B. Jordan's going to come over to my house as soon as I go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he's replacing Drake May. So
unbelievable.
The quarterbacks will be Josh Allen out of the AFC, Justin Herbert, and Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, so Josh is going. Okay.
Yeah, according to the NFL website, he is on the AFC roster. He is one of 3 quarterbacks. Drake May is on here, but obviously will not be going. So that is who Shedeur Sanders is replacing.
Let's take a look at old Shedeur's stat line. What does it take to be a Pro Bowl alternate these days? I'm dying to know.
Someone check on Josina Anderson.
Probably throwing a party.
The two of you hate Josina.
I do not hate Josina Anderson.
She was very nice to you at the combine
was.
when you met her a couple of years ago. 1,400 passing yards, 7 touchdowns to 10 picks, and an 18.9 QBR will get you into the Pro Bowl.
There's not another. That's nothing against Shador, but I'm just. How is there not a better stat line than that?
Okay, so just
There is Cam Ward.
the metrics.
Yeah, Cam Ward.
The metrics historically. Sanders posted an 18.9 QBR, which is the 5th worst since 2006 for 200-plus pass quarterbacks, and a 65% success rate on completions, the lowest for a Browns quarterback in 25 years. He averaged 3.9 seconds to throw, which was the 4th longest in the season since 2000.
Wait, is Trevor Lawrence not on here? Did he turn it down for whatever reason?
He would have had to.
I would assume that they are doing a lot of that stuff in the background now and not saying Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be there, so we're doing Shedeur Sanders. They're just going to say the replacements.
Yeah.
Jack Longley correctly points out Cam Ward can't play because he's dealing with the shoulder injury.
That's right.
For sure. But it's not a football game. It's like
It's flag football.
well, they do flag, they do some dodgeball.
Yeah.
There are physical activities that Cam probably
It's like a
shouldn't be
field
doing.
day.
Basically.
The Pro Bowl has become field day in middle school.
And they've put it on the same week now as the Super Bowl. So both the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl will take place next week in Santa Clara. So, Shedeur Sanders going to the Pro Bowl. Hey, you know what? To his credit, it's forever on your resume. You can use it in contract negotiations. The next team that trades for Shedeur Sanders will be trading for Pro Bowl quarterback Shedeur Sanders.
So Trevor Lawrence in 2025 will have been an MVP finalist, but not a Pro Bowl quarterback.
I guess.
I bet players are happy that this accounts so much into their contract bonuses as it does.
yeah.
I think Shedeur Sanders will get a PPE bonus, which is like proven performance escalator. He should get a PPE bonus for time played plus a Pro Bowl.
No, this is absolutely an escalator for whoever. I mean, it's just so absurd that it's Shedeur.
He wasn't going to take the stairs.
What?
He would.
It's all right.
It's an escalator.
He's moving a little slow.
Oh, I'm sorry. The amount of jokes that Robert has made. You look over your shoulder on a delay just to make sure. Anyway, the Pro Bowl is a bigger joke than whatever it is that Robert Walsh just tried to make.
My goodness.
All right. So the Super Bowl matchup is set. It's the Seahawks and the Patriots. I have not seen an opening line on this game. I would assume that the Seahawks would be at least a touchdown favorite.
I've got Seahawks minus 4.5.
That feels way too short based on the way that one team played and the way that the other team is. I mean, they're really struggling on offense, the Patriots. The only difference in that game to me yesterday was Drake May's legs. That he was able to evade in a lot of situations that Denver Broncos defense. And to his credit, it's a part of his game. You can have 86 passing yards if you extend drives that way. He put them in field goal position a bunch. They just weren't able to capitalize. Neither team able to capitalize as that game wore on from a field goal kicking standpoint, given the elements. But, I mean, they've survived scoring. I think it's 15.6 points per game, the Patriots, here of late.
They're just dragging teams into the mud. And will they be able to do that against a really well-rounded Seahawks team? As of late,
they're excellent in all three phases.
Talk about complimentary football, man. Their special teams. Who's their special teams coordinator? It's a Harbaugh, right?
No, it's a
Jay Harbaugh.
Oh, is it one of Jim's sons?
I believe it's Jay Harbaugh.
Okay,
Jay
Harbaugh, the next Harbaugh to be a head coach.
Done a phenomenal job with their special teams unit.
Rashid Shaheed being one of the biggest deadline acquisitions, that dude's going to get paid, one would imagine. That is earned, by the way. He's been an excellent compliment for them. And is Jackson Smith-Njigba the best wide receiver in football right now?
This season?
I think I have to say yes.
Are his numbers
Puka
better than Puka's?
The argument is a good one for Puka, and given that we've seen them square off essentially in a game 3 times this year, I would say him and Puka probably have comparable numbers. Wait, didn't Puka miss some time?
A couple of games.
JSN, I think, has been healthy.
He beat him by JSN had 1793 and Puka Nacua had 1715. Both had 10 touchdowns.
Puka had an incredible postseason, 332 yards in the postseason. The next best is Colston Loveland with 193 in Chicago.
You want to talk about Rookie of the Year snubs? That dude was really good in Chicago this year.
He was excellent.
I think the big difference between the two, Puka caught 10 more passes than JSN did. 40-plus yard passes. Puka caught 3. JSN caught 8.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, they said it was his, like, the third game this season yesterday where he's had 100 yards and a half. And it's not like he's doing it against the Titans in week 12 or whatever it was. This is the NFC Championship game against the damn Rams. Like,
they're neck and neck to me for the best receiver in the league this year. They've both been just phenomenal and rising up in the biggest moments and going head to head, too. It's just been fun to watch.
We'll obviously wait until we get closer to the game to do Super Bowl picks. I would think that Seattle would be a bigger favorite. I can't imagine people are going to be putting a lot of money on New England. And in fact, if it's just 4 or 4.5, did you say?
4.5.
Either way,
that's just looking at ESPN Bet.
I would probably take Seattle with the 4.5. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. I might push back on it if it was closer to a touchdown the way that I felt it should be, because I do think New England will find a way to keep it close. Even if the game isn't competitive, like I think the final score, like I would imagine, I could see a world in which the Patriots keep it within a touchdown by the time the game's over.
There's just going to be so many ways to discuss this game. Which coach do you trust more, right? Mike Vrabel with the situational stuff was masterful again yesterday. Mike McDonald has done an incredible job calling the defense as well in Seattle. Which quarterback do you trust more? Sam Darnold. He's been the better quarterback in the postseason, but it's still kind of that thing. Everybody's just waiting for it to happen.
No, but I'm not going to. I picked against him this past game because I just assumed that Stafford would be better.
Yeah.
And that Sam Darnold would have one of those moments, and it's not a fair assumption because this is the thing. It's one of the worst things that we do in sports analysis, and everybody's guilty of it. We talk about players in certain situations as if they can't do something just because we haven't seen them do it. Sam Darnold is the definition of that. You talk about Sam Darnold as if he's not capable because, I mean, his numbers against the Rams, both with the Vikings and the Seahawks, they're not good until yesterday, and he just kicks their front teeth in.
Would it be like saying this was the Broncos' best shot at a Super Bowl under Sean Payton?
No. I don't think that's prisoner of the moment.
No? You don't think there's any scenario where Sean Payton
No,
win a Super
of course
Bowl
there's a scenario.
with Bo Nix in like year 3.
But if you had to make me pick, like, will they ever get this close to a Super Bowl again? I'd probably be pretty comfortable saying, yeah, this was it. This is as close to, I mean, it's kind of like the Titans. I don't know how many Titans fans would have thought that they would have been at least back in the mix in an AFC Championship game or something like that after 2019. They didn't win a playoff game after that. It's so hard. There's a million different things that go wrong. I'm just playing the percentages. Like, they got really, really damn close. They probably should have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Ben Johnson said it well after the Bears lost when he's asked about building off of this, and he kind of corrected the reporter, saying, you don't build off of this, you just start over.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I in the same way that we want progression for players to be linear, because that's what Madden lets us do, I just don't think that we can look at seasons consecutively that way.
I just think it's underestimating Sean Payton to say he had his shot at a Super Bowl in Denver with a young quarterback and a young defense.
They will continue to be contenders for their division, and which, by the Pittsburgh Steelers logic, makes you a Super Bowl contender.
Well, in that division, if you're contending and winning that division, you are a Super Bowl contender.
Well, you feel differently about the AFC North?
Well, the way the Steelers, when's the last time the Steelers won the AFC North?
2020.
Before this year, 2020?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you guys are arguing different things. Like,
I don't think we're arguing.
Well,
are we?
I think you guys are not coming to a point over different things.
Okay.
Buck is arguing that it's going to be tough for Sean Payton to get back, even though they are very talented, which is probably true. And Lucas is also arguing, but yes, they're very talented. They could go back. You guys are arguing could versus will, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not. You're not definitive about any of this stuff, right? Nobody knows what the hell is. I have no idea what Bo Nix is going to look like coming off an ankle. He could be completely fine. It could be no big deal, right? But I just think that a lot of things aligned for the Broncos this year, and they had a freak thing happen to them. And that's, I don't know, it feels as much luck. Don't the Patriots feel as much luck as good?
Yes.
This year? I mean, if I'm going to buy into your argument that people sit at bars that I'll never be at, debating sports amongst themselves. By the way, what kind of conversations do you think I'm having that are that different than the conversations that you're having?
I don't know, man. Watching a football game in person with you is a bit of a trip. It's like watching in a stadium, right? Like when we're in Neyland or something. It's like watching a football game with someone that is at their first ever football game. When you're like you're like, oh, excellent tackle. Yeah. That was a very good touchdown catch.
Golf clap. Well, I don't know how to. We don't cheer in the press box.
Don't know how to. People are going nuts, and you it's like you don't know how to behave.
I feel like I got into it at the Peach
Yes, a very
Bowl.
good job on that block there.
I got into it at the national championship, but I was also hammered.
That helps. That definitely helps.
I'm not so drunk like Robert falling asleep on your shoulder in the third quarter.
I wasn't asleep on his shoulder. I just took a little nap.
Wore himself out at halftime, had to take a nap, come back for overtime just to see him miss a field goal.
I wanted to be there for the Vols. They needed my energy in the fourth quarter, so I took a little sabbatical, a little synapical.
And then you were back.
I was so back.
A conversation that was being had across the weekend was the idea of the elements and how much they factored into the AFC Championship game versus not having an impact in the NFC game. We're going to talk about the idea of whether fans are pro or anti-dome when it comes to NFL stadiums coming up next.
Dome or no dome? That is the question as it relates to conference championship weekend.
Oh,
Across the National Football League. You put that smile away. Quiet down.
Always pro dome.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Yesterday's AFC Championship game started clear, ended incredibly snowy. It had a major impact on the game. Missed field goals, no offense for the majority of the second half. To you, did that lessen the viewing experience of the AFC Championship game in Denver? Did you watch that game thinking they have got to put a dome over this building so we can avoid this awesome scene to decide who's going to the Super Bowl?
well, you've already led the witness with your line of questioning, so well done by you. But no, the aesthetics of Denver in the snow, that's what you live for. It's Buffalo in a playoff game. It's Denver in a situation like that. It's Chicago, like these weather cities where you expect and should anticipate that the elements will be a factor. No, as an audience member, I think it only heightens the viewing experience. This is where you can rightfully accuse me, one of many places, Robert, of being one percenter. I would not go to a game like that. Like, I would not sit in the cold like that. Be like Titans fans who took their cardboard to Kansas City to have to stand on it in the concrete to keep their feet from freezing. Like, no, not for me. I would prefer to be inside as a spectator. But on television, oh my God, there's nothing better than a snow game.
Do you agree?
I do agree. I think there's something. I feel like I'm using this word with a negative connotation, but there's something so sophomoric about it where it's like it's just dudes playing ball in the snow. Like, none of this fancy stuff, none of the, oh, look at the trickeration, oh, look at the man in motion. Oh. No, it's just line up, and I'm about to punch you in the face. Who is going to get tired of getting punched in the face more? Kind of like Patty Piblet and Justin Gaethje this weekend.
I didn't see it, but I heard it was a war.
It was electric.
UFC,
You watched it? You're not a UFC guy.
I know. I watched it. The people I was with all day were just buzzing about the fight, so watched it when I got home. It was awesome.
Should we watch more UFC as a show?
You guys should, yes.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, 100%. Dude, it was incredible.
Well, executive produce us one time.
I'll be trying.
That's fair.
Just got mock draft Monday in. Dang.
That old chap would not go down. That dude
What is it? He says Scousers don't get knocked out.
No, they don't.
He
oh
was
my
a
goodness.
first round. Dude comes in there, sneak. I'm like, oh, he's done. Gaethje's on top of him, just beating him. They end up fighting up from it, like a 5-round just brawl.
Anyway,
So we all agree.
on football being played outside.
Yeah, or that a dome doesn't lessen or doesn't improve the experience. Like, for me, the experience is improved by more factors at play, the elements being at play. The idea that we're discussing Sean Payton and his decision to go for 4th and 1 or not, and that he should have sent out the field goal team because theoretically he would have known that blizzard is coming in and points are going to be at a premium. I love the layer that adds to the story, to the narrative of the AFC Championship game. Not to mention, what are the best environments in the NFL? Just off the rip. What comes to mind?
Oh, Buffalo, Chicago,
Lambeau,
Green Bay,
Kansas City,
Kansas
Seattle.
City.
Lumen Field.
Well,
Yeah.
Kansas City's eventually going to be indoors, right? That's the whole part of the move to Kansas.
What you look back here for? I don't know what they be doing.
I don't either.
I think that's.
But
They're trying to break out the SpongeBob.
I think that's the plan.
Indoors.
and there are good environments indoors, like Ford Field. The Detroit fans go nuts.
Ford Field is awesome.
For sure.
I did a game there for the first time last year. Have you been to many Lions games when you visit Megan?
No, I've been to Tigers games, and I've never been to a Lions game.
Oh, my God. Ford Field is electric. And some people don't like the honeycomb thing that they have going on with the suites. I don't know. I think it looks weirdly intimidating. I really like it. U.S. Bank in Minnesota, it's my favorite stadium in the league. U.S. Bank is awesome. Now, somebody, Duck on YouTube, points out, look at U.S. Bank. That should be the standard. These generic domes like SoFi and Allegiant, so L.A. and Las Vegas, aren't it. U.S. Bank and Mercedes-Benz have character. Now, for what it's worth, the Titans Stadium is it's Allegiant. Like, the stadium is Allegiant. It's done by the same company that did Allegiant. The only difference between Nashville and Vegas is a Roomba and Nashville is what are we calling it? A Whole Foods? It's like a Whole Foods externally.
I did not get the Whole Foods vibe. I get the Roomba thing.
If you go to the Whole Foods here on Broadway, it kind of looks like the Whole Foods on Broadway.
Have you heard anything about Titans fans being upset about the look of the new Commanders Stadium, where they're kind of going with the pillar and post or what columns?
Yeah,
kind of looks like that's
Titans fans being upset about that.
Yeah, because
No.
I thought that was a lot of the conversation about what they wanted. They wanted it to look like
Coliseum.
Yes, a Coliseum vibe, and DC is kind of going with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of Titans fans would love to see sort of the Greek mythology vibe brought back that was initially here with the Adelphia Coliseum.
Instead, they're doing the Ring of Fire, which most recently was told to me by Jason Fitz that it's the theme song for a hemorrhoids commercial. So there's always that.
By the way, you left your cream in my car for your hemorrhoids.
Oh,
Yeah, I saved it for you.
thank you for
You
reminding
didn't
me.
get that.
It tastes terrible.
It doesn't freeze? You say it tastes terrible?
So, no domes. We're all in agreement. No dome.
Well, now wait.
Under any
No.
circumstance.
Slow down.
Yeah, you hold on now.
Slow
Cheyenne might
down.
be listening. Quit that.
How many of those jokes do you think we can
That's
get
what
in
we agreed. No
without
dome.
subtlety? It's what we agreed. What is this, November? All right. I am pro-dome in places like Vegas and Nashville, not because of the cold, but because of the heat. I think that, again, only having done the pregame show at Nissan Stadium, I don't sit outside for games, obviously. So I'm having a different perspective than people who attend games at Nissan Stadium. But I've gone to concerts at Nissan and stuff like that. It's untenable in the summer in Nashville. Really, basically until mid-October. I don't know how the hell people do it, especially if you're sitting on the home side for as many noon games as they play with the sun just beating down on you. Isn't that where, like, Blue and all them in the 300 sit?
Yeah, I don't know exactly which side of the stadium my friends have their season tickets.
Either way, I just feel like the thing to me about Nashville or Vegas or any of these hot places that are more hot than cold, I think cold weather is acceptable to play football outside. I think hot is cruel. I think it's way worse than I think you run the risk for the players way more in the heat than you do in the cold with the level of protection that they have or
It's
lack
definitely
thereof.
more dangerous. There's less you can do about it as opposed to what you can do about cold weather games.
People are submitting that the new stadium looks like a PlayStation as opposed to a Whole Foods.
I'd get down with that. Would you be down with a Super Bowl in Abu Dhabi?
Oh, did you see?
Oh God, we're not far, are we?
Well, buddy, did you see Ronaldo receiving a trophy from The Undertaker? Your two worlds colliding in Saudi Arabia over the weekend.
I love that he is just the guy that WWE likes to send out for things like that. And he just like
The Undertaker?
They still call him The Undertaker, but he's just like now this old, tattooed, feebled, broken backed man. Like it's like, yes, and The Undertaker. And he just walks out there wearing his like basic redneck attire.
It was so funny watching Ronaldo be delighted by the trophy presentation. He's like, who is this man?
He literally has the same vibe, and rightfully so, of Ric Flair. Like
Yeah.
when Ric Flair comes in, everybody's like, woo! They all know the deal.
Oh, the Sue that they do for Ronaldo. Yeah, that.
No, he's talking about Undertaker.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cristiano Ronaldo when he comes out.
No, I don't know anything about that
Okay,
guy.
so they gave him a trophy at a WWE.
No. It was a soccer event in Saudi Arabia that The Undertaker was the trophy presenter for reasons that are beyond me. I don't know how I saw this and you didn't.
Oh man, I mean WWE is doing a lot over there. They're doing a lot over there.
Yeah, because the Saudis will pay them outrageous amounts of money.
Crazy.
Tom
amounts of
Brady is
money.
getting ready to host a flag football tournament over there in which Derrick Henry apparently is going to participate for tons of money.
That's phenomenal. He handed him the trophy that for winning the league in Saudi Arabia.
Like, just, I don't know if you're looking at the same clip I saw, but just
Yeah,
like
I'm
watching
looking
his
at it.
various facial expressions while Undertaker does his thing, like, it's awesome.
So the Royal Rumble this year will be in Riyadh. Is that how you say it? In Saudi Arabia?
Is it Riyadh?
Riyadh.
Oh, Riyadh. It will be in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia this year. It will be the first traditional Royal Rumble outside of North America.
WWE is there. Soccer very much is having a foothold there.
Where else?
F1 goes there.
Sure.
Where's NFL in that?
Oh, they're just trying to figure out how to do it in a way that doesn't get them accused of sports washing a government that kills American journalists.
Do the Hall of Fame game there. Send all the Hall of Famers over there. Let them do their introductory speeches.
Their appearance fees will be 10 times what they are in Canton.
I bet they wouldn't have to. Who was it? Was it Boomer Esiason that the Bengals hit him up?
Won't have to pay for their own hotel.
They won't have to pay for their own hotel.
Oh, they'll roll out the red carpet for sure.
Yeah, red, soaked in slave labor blood.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, what do you mean, oh, Lord?
I mean, it's not far.
That's what's happening.
How many brainstorming sessions are happening on Park Avenue? All right, how do we do this without people being mad at us?
Well, they honestly...
How did Liv do it?
But think about it. Like, I feel like you and it was just you and me. We were in the old studio when the Liv stuff happened. Mm-hmm. I feel like we got a bunch of calls of people being like, I don't care that they're taking the Saudis' money, which was weird, given the part of the country that we're in and where people usually align. Not to get into people's politics or stuff like that, but I thought it was just bizarre the kind of people that were calling in and being like, I don't care if they take the blood money. Like, what?
I guess. I think most people still were against it, but just kind of lived to accept it. We're just like, this is what golf is now.
Well, and we'll see if it succeeds, right? And this is a different conversation, but you saw Brooks Koepka bailed out, and he's trying to rejoin the PGA Tour. So if that becomes a trend, maybe it's just a one-off. I don't know. I went to the Live Golf event in, what's the golf course? The Grove? Is that what it's called?
Sure.
It's like, I don't know, 45 minutes east. It was awesome. It was a good time. Like, I understood the event. The teams are stupid. And the uniforms are ridiculous looking, but whatever. I don't know how sustainable that kind of stuff is, but bet your ass the NFL is exploring a way to get over there. And Tom Brady is the envoy. Tom Brady doing this flag football tournament over there with all the NFL's biggest stars, or as many of them as he can wrangle up.
They're just dipping the toe.
Yeah, that's the welcome party, baby.
All right, Super Bowl 75 in Saudi Arabia, dome or no dome?
You got to have dome.
If you want to, I don't know.
Well, it's against their politics.
Yeah, I was about to. If you want a dome over there, they'll build it. They are literally building the entire venue for this WWE Royal Rumble over there from scratch, from the ground up.
That's what Qatar did for the World Cup. Like, the city in which the World Cup final was hosted was a planned city that they built for the World Cup final.
I say this as somebody of Middle Eastern descent. There's a theme there. That's the unpleasant part about these places hosting these events is how they get these stadiums built. Either way.
So, we all agree. No dome.
Are you against the Titans having one?
I like that it's openable.
It's not.
Well, no, they can.
Openable.
They don't have a roof.
They have the circular top that can close, right?
Retractable.
No, it's not a retractable roof. That's the whole thing, right? They had to spend X amount of money to get a retractable. It's not a retractable roof.
All I know is they've hung the drywall up over there, and it is starting to look like what it's going to look like.
The roof will not be retractable, you're right. Why did I think it was retractable?
How many people do you think get that joke?
Just us.
That was a whole fight. Like, Titans fans wanted a retractable roof. They weren't going to pay the extra money for a retractable roof. Again,
that's right.
I'm curious to see what kind of differences there are between that and Allegiant. You've never been to Allegiant.
No.
Either of you.
Never been to Vegas.
You never been to Vegas? Well, they're going again next year.
Not even like as a fun little boys trip or anything?
Never been.
Oh,
do you guys want to make a fun trip out of the Titans game next year? Or do you have to stay for whatever?
That is so far away from now.
Okay.
Well, if maybe we could get you a sick day. We could go to Vegas.
I mean, I'll be there.
I love the Golden Nugget.
No, I'm not staying at the Golden Nugget.
If you're going to go, you got to stay at Circa. Circa is the creme de la creme. You get Old Vegas.
Rachel's about to be there.
Circa is incredible.
The pool is.
No, the hotel is the hotel from the delicatessen to the sports book. Everything at Circa is top of the line. It is the newest and best hotel in Old Vegas.
And I like Old Vegas, and proximity to the Fox studio there is good. So, okay, we can negotiate. But I wasn't impressed with Allegiant. This was the first game that I'd done at Allegiant, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, it felt very cookie cutter. Now, they have the big, like, flame structure thing, Al Davis's flame, whatever the hell, that's sitting in the middle. And even that kind of, and maybe it's Vegas, and so there's supposed to be some element of, like, tackiness to it. But I don't know. It was far more impressive from an external standpoint than the actual stadium was inside. And I am curious to know if the Titans stadium is going to be at all different or if it's just going to be physically different from the exterior and the exact same thing on the inside. because that would be a shame. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in there. Last call for phone calls if you got them. We'll update the polls. Get out of here coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Ross came in here like he survived the Arctic tundra.
Stunning and brave of Ross to drive to work today.
In the face of adversity.
He crumpled like a leaf.
We got a text from Ross, producer of Cover 2, that just said, code red, stuck at front gate, not good. I feel like code red in a situation like this should be applied for a more serious situation.
Yeah, you better be like, you're in a car accident with like a limb stuck in a door or something like that, at risk of being amputated. Code red.
Code red.
Code red. He slid a little bit on the ice. He got nervous. He peed a little bit in his pants and texted us.
Some people are actually dealing with the code red out there.
Unbelievable. Yeah, honestly, if Lucas, Robert, what is the resource? Where can I direct people if they are seeking shelter in this adverse weather conditions? Because it's supposed to get appreciably colder tonight. I think the high today was set at 20. Last I checked Nashville severe weather. It's supposed to dip down to 5 degrees as far as the temperature goes. I can't imagine what the real feel is. WPLN.com had a number of different warming centers that are available around the city and in the surrounding communities, Madison, Antioch, and things like that. Where should people go?
So you can go to nashville.gov /departments, and it will tell you the locations of these. But if you just look up Nashville warming centers, there are a number of places that list these. But as you noted, Metro Nashville fire stations are all safe warming positions. Also, Metro Police Precinct community rooms are available to the public for warming without overnight accommodations, beds, and bedding. That includes North, West, Hermitage, Madison, South, Midtown Hills, and Southeast precincts. Please note that the Central Precinct and East Precinct are not available warming locations. If you're watching with us on YouTube, I have pinned that article in the YouTube chat. So if you say, I don't need it now, but maybe later tonight when the wind starts picking up again, your power goes out, just bookmark that, and you will have all of the locations of Nashville warming centers at your fingertips.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was stunned. I mentioned this earlier. I was stunned to get, just a little bit over by that West Nashville shopping center and to see how much different it looked around them than it did in Germantown. Like, Germantown's largely untouched. The streets are iced over. They haven't cleared off the surface streets or anything like that. Like, you can get around on Jefferson and Rosa Parks and all these different things. It took me, I don't know, if it takes me 8 minutes to get to work on a normal day, it took me 10 today. But everywhere else, I hope you guys are safe and holding up okay, because I know it's pretty gnarly out there.
Larry says the power just came back on for him in the Tusculum Road area. Joe says Nashville is under a real emergency. His elderly parents are struggling to find a shelter with power, over 150K without power. If you live downtown, maybe you think it's great. It's not, he says.
Yeah.
So a lot of people dealing with this. NES has just put out another update that they have restored power to 68,000 customers overnight. There are still about 167,000 without power. At least 143 broken poles reported across the NES service area.
I thought you told me the exploding trees were only in, like, Michigan and stuff like that.
You came up with that yourself. I told you to watch out for the exploding trees.
It is the weight of the ice on the trees. It's not them exploding into power poles.
They're attacking us.
I have a willow tree in my backyard, and if you're unfamiliar with willow trees, their branches kind of hang like tendrils. You see them in like Southern movies. Like, it's kind of fantasized in like Southern Gothic aesthetics, these willow trees. But every limb on it is covered in ice. The whole thing looks like a sad whomping willow from Harry Potter. Like, my neighbors, it is just hung over backwards onto their back porch. Like, they can't even walk outside.
Yeah, careful out there. A lot of trees blocking roads, too.
What's the dumbest thing you've seen somebody do this weekend in the ice?
Oh, boiling water on their car to get the ice off the windshield.
Oh, yeah,
My neighbor. My neighbor had his electric kettle out there.
No, oh, my goodness.
Electric kettle pouring the water over his side mirrors, which just, as soon as he did that, it was like stone cold walking in, like, just all of the glass just shattering.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a kind of, like, you got to know better, stupid.
So,
like, you don't wish that.
Why does it have to be boiling?
Like, it doesn't.
Get, like, room temperature water.
That'll do a lot right there.
Or just cut your car on. Cut your car on and put the defrost on.
I literally sat in my car with my defrost on for an hour today.
I watched another one of my neighbors trying to get the ice off his windshield with like one of those little Phillips head screwdrivers, like sticking it in the ice and then scraping it off. I'm like, yeah, your windshield's going to look great after this.
Lucas, anything dumb in East Nashville? Or were you the guilty party?
No, I don't
You
think
said
so.
you got some good sledding
We
in.
got some good sledding in on Saturday.
I was
The
jealous.
snow was good
Yeah.
on Saturday
Yeah.
before, 2 inches of ice froze over it. My
Yeah.
God.
East Nashville's got some good hills for that. But yes, once Sunday came along, the fun and games kind of halted.
Did you see this video that's gone viral from the weekend of a University of Arkansas student, a girl, girl, whatever, sledding down the hill? There's only one spot in which there's one of those emergency service poles, you know what I'm talking about, that are like blue at the top around campus.
Oh, yeah.
Like they almost look like police sirens.
Yeah.
There's only one spot where this pole is. This woman takes a direct path towards the pole, falls off her sled, flies through the air sideways, and I swear to God, I don't know how she doesn't have 5 broken ribs. Like, she hits this pole so hard. And thank God, apparently she's okay. But one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I've got a dumb one.
Look, while Robert is telling this story, Lucas, look it up. You will be stunned by the rate of force this woman hits this thing with.
One, I don't remember when it was, but I think I was in high school. Big snow happened. My dad has a farm, so naturally all my friends come over.
Did you see it?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. She's so little. She just goes flying into this thing.
Sweetie, are you okay?
There's so many places she could have gone.
That's what I'm saying. There's one spot
It's like,
where the pole is.
it's like a few inches wide that she could have gone anywhere
God.
else.
But all my friends come to my dad's farm, and we're going to go 4-wheeling. So people are like driving through these big mounds of snow, like jumping off. Yeah, this is fun. My buddy did not realize that my dad, he stacks wood. His house is heated off of a wood stove.
Yeah.
And thought, I'm just going to drive straight through this embankment. Drove the 4-wheeler straight into the wood pile. Hit his chest on the like steering column of the 4-wheeler. Cracked his sternum.
Oh.
Yeah. Just laid it there out in the snow, just like Peter Griffin. Couldn't even stand up. We had to make a makeshift.
Can't breathe.
He had to make a makeshift stretcher. Carry him out of there. So just be careful. If you're going to go out there and have fun, be careful while you're having your
And
fun.
make sure none of your friends have phones on you.
Because we will record you.
And then post your shame for the entire internet. All right. I did do some polls today. Let's go.
I was struggling to figure out which one we should pick. What is the coldest poll that we have? Not coldest as in, ooh, that was cold, but like who making the best reference to freezing? I think it's Austin Powers because he had to be unfrozen.
And he hasn't had an update since 2023.
That's correct.
All right. Let's go. Feels like they're dancing around the fire.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Who will be more bitter watching their ex in the Super Bowl? Titans fans watching Mike Vrabel or the Vikings watching Sam Darnold? 59% say Titans. Luke comments and says neither. It's the Jets watching Sam Darnold.
I think it's so far removed. I think the Jets are honestly more pissed about the Patriots being back in the Super Bowl than they are Sam Darnold.
Well, Jets fans have taken so many punches over the decades that at some point they just all blend together. It's like, yeah, of course. Of course, our number 3 overall pick at quarterback, fast forward X amount of years, is leading a team to the Super Bowl. Just,
not ideal.
What's another blow? Speaking of, are you pro or anti domed NFL stadium? 58% say pro.
Yeah, I think I'm more for it in the heat than I am in the cold. Because I hate for us to be deprived of, maybe it's not the most aesthetically pleasing football, and you don't get that sick JSN wheel route out of the backfield touchdown in Denver, which has been broken down many times. It's awesome play designed by Clint Kubiak there. But I do think that you need a little bit of that, right? Buffalo actively legislated against a roof.
Yeah.
They have an overhang, kind of like Geodis or like Hard Rock in Miami.
They say we don't need a Super Bowl.
They certainly aren't going to get one anytime soon, it seems.
I just can't imagine watching that AFC Championship game yesterday as the snow's coming down and thinking, man, this sucks.
No.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Unless you were in it.
Being in it is different. What is currently the direction you want the Titans to go with the number 4 overall pick? We've got a lot of folks talking about trading back. Kent says Reuben Bain. Front Porch Junkie says defense, Bain or Bailey or Caleb Downs.
I mean,
most people say Reuben Bain.
Francis Mauigoa.
That's who Daniel Jeremiah mocked. Those are the polls.
Very good. That is the show. We appreciate your participation. We will await the status of primetime to see what Robert Walsh's internet does. And if not, we will talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. See you there.